Pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy on Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome into Pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on Bettor Sports Network. Brought to you today by our friends over at Jock Market. John Luke, how are you doing this Sunday morning? Week 9, baby.
Oh, fantastic. Ready for some football.
I stumbled over 9 because it doesn't feel correct that we're already in week 9 of this season, that we've already made it this far. But we know what's going on in the NFL. We know what teams are good. We know what teams are bad. And they're going to prove us wrong this Sunday like they have done every single other week of this year so far.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Snip, snap. No, it's full-on Michael Scott vasectomy going on in the NFL right now. And I'm expecting the Packers and the Bucks to come out today and just like unsnip me one more time.
Oh, don't say unsnip me one more time. Nasty boy.
Why did that? That's a Weird Al remake of Britney Spears' "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Snip me, baby.
One more time.
I love it.
What's up, Tommy? We got Tommy in the
Tommy?
chat. Yo! It's Sunday. Let's
Yo,
go.
yo,
Indeed,
yo.
it is. Al in the chat. Good morning, Al. With nothing
Morning,
but
Al.
fire on this Sunday, and we got Matt in the chat as well.
There you
Better
go.
boss said, "Hi, boys. Best part of the week." You know what?
Facts.
I'm going to give you
Facts.
second best part of the week, Matt. Best part of the week is right after this ends and all the 1 p.m. games kick off. And it's like this mad rush of adrenaline. You can't keep up with everything, but you're just fighting to do so for the next 3 hours. That's my favorite part of every single week, JL.
Football. Right when this ends. That's all I heard.
Football. Everyone watching, we're going to be here for the next 2 hours. We're going to be breaking down all the things you need to know before the games kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But if you've got questions for us, make sure you're throwing them in the chat. We would love to answer those for you throughout the day. John Luke, I thought I'd start with some positive news. We got some injuries to go over, but we also have some players coming back from injury. Cordero Patterson, running back for the Atlanta Falcons, returned to practice off of IR on this Wednesday. He wasn't activated yet, but he hasn't been ruled out for this Sunday's game from Coach Arthur Smith. So we could be seeing Cordero Patterson back on the field. Fantasy sweetheart, age 29, breakout running back. If CP is starting this week, are you comfortable plugging him into your lineups, or are you waiting?
I'm waiting. There's no point in forcing him back in unless you're absolutely desperate. If you are dealing with like a bye week situation, bipocalypse type situation where you just need to throw someone in, I'm fine throwing Cordero Patterson. But otherwise, I'm waiting to see him. He is older. He's been off for a little while, been injured. Tyler Algier has been a decent fill-in, so I don't think they're going to need to force him in.
Right, and it's Tyler Algier. They've also got Caleb Huntley, who they've been working in as well. Like, they've got multiple backs that they've been comfortable working in. And I'm with you, JL. I'm not forcing him into any lineups. Cordero Patterson is one of my most rostered players this year. Across 17 leagues, I think I have him drafted in 12. Like,
Ooh.
He is on every single one of my teams for the most part, but I'm starting him in one. And it's the exact scenario that you laid out. I've got 7 players on bye in that league. Like, my entire bench is just, this is the only lineup I can start. And the waiver wire is bare because it's relatively deep benches in a 14-team league. So Cordero Patterson, welcome to the starting lineup, but I don't want to do it. I want to wait and see. He's older. He's coming off of injury. If you can hold off, then you want to do that. Dale, you've got your Baltimore Ravens jersey on. They're not playing until Monday, but there's some players that are still up in the air for Monday's game for the Ravens. So if you guys have these players, you might want to make other plans now, just in case they don't play. Tight end Mark Andrews is questionable. He missed a couple practices this week, Thursday and Friday, and he's not looking likely to play this Sunday. Dale, if you have Mark Andrews on your team, are you waiting till Monday? He's in there. He's listed as doubtful. Are you waiting till Monday and hoping that he plays, or are you picking someone else to start this week?
I'm picking someone else to play. I'm not expecting Mark Andrews to play this. Check your waiver wire to see if Isaiah Likely is there. If you can pick him up, he is Mark Andrews' backup rookie, and he has looked fantastic with Mark Andrews out. Otherwise, I'm going to be trying to pick somebody up today. If your waivers don't let that, then you might not have a choice.
You might have to pray that Likely's out there, or
you might have to pray that Likely's there. Whoever, maybe Jawan Johnson's out there.
Or I just put in a claim for Taysom Hill in a league jail where I was holding on to Mark Andrews and hoping, but he got brought down to doubtful. I waited too long. I put in my claim on Taysom Hill, and if Mark Andrews doesn't play, I've got Taysom Hill to plug in instead, which that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, the options are Mark Andrews or Taysom Hill. And then Tommy said he is likely to play. Isaiah, that is. Do you think the likely jokes will ever stop, or are they going to continue his
Never.
entire career?
No, I think the boomers out there and the dads they just know no bounds. They'll never stop.
No, it's never going to end. We're going to hear likely jokes till the end of time. Also on the Ravens, Gus Edwards looks like a long shot to play on Monday night. Not looking likely for him, but that means you can probably start some Kenyon Drake, right?
Yes, you can. I'm starting Kenyon Drake in a few leagues.
What are your expectations for him? Like, you're starting him. Are you expecting RB2 numbers, RB3 numbers? What are you expecting from this dude?
Yeah, I think it's going to be RB3 for sure. Probably mid RB3 is where my expectations lie. How about you, Simon?
Yeah, I think he's got RB2 upside. And I guess this Ravens offense is a running back can go off and have a top 12 performance in this Ravens offense any given week, right? It's a powerful enough offense that can happen, but expectations, low end RB2, and you're going to be happy with Kenyon Drake in this bipocalypse week.
Bipocalypse.
What was that, Joe?
Bipocalypse.
What accent was that? That's beautiful.
It's not an accent. It's my voice.
Wow.
Bipocalypse.
It's like somewhere between like Goldfinger and Will Ferrell from Eurovision. Like you combined two generic European accents and then said bipocalypse.
Bipocalypse.
Well, now it's getting more Italian Pizza Chef. It's morphing every single time, Joe. Oh, Dave said it's a Moldovan accent.
Moldova.
And a Moldovan accent. We got Dame in the chat saying, good morning. What's up, Damon?
Good morning.
And apologizing for Clemson last night.
Yeah.
You know what?
It is what it is.
We talked about it. We talked about it with our friend Tara on one of our streams last week. Clemson their record is what propped them up at that top 4 ranking in the college football playoffs. What they had put on the field would not have put them at top 4 if you took the records away. I'm not shocked that they lost. I'm shocked they got blown out, but I'm not shocked they lost this game to a good team in Notre Dame.
They'll come back. Kate Klubnik, our hero.
We hope so. Tommy's saying, what happened, boys? What happened? It was pretty rough. I was telling JL that yesterday morning, it's like 9 a.m. and I get a text from my grandma, who is a huge Notre Dame fan, like world's biggest Notre Dame fan. She went to St. Mary's back when it was like boys went to Notre Dame, girls went to St. Mary's. So it's a Notre Dame family. And I get a text from her. I bet I know who you're cheering for at 7:30 tonight. I love you anyways, grandma. Like the love, like she was doing me a favor by loving me, even though I was cheering for Clemson.
I love you anyways.
I sent her a nice little congratulation message though, which is more than I know she would have done.
Tell her you love her anyways.
Yeah, I said great game by Notre Dame. Love you anyways, Simon.
Gotta hit her right back with it.
And Blurpy, and you said Notre Dame really gonna have wins over the 2 teams in the ACC championship. Yeah, and then losses to Marshall and Stanford. Notre Dame's only job this season is to make the ACC look terrible. Like that's what they're doing. Somehow they found a position in football where they don't have to join a conference, but they just ruin the look of that conference.
Other conference troll.
I feel like they are. I saw a comment on Reddit yesterday saying Notre Dame is like every neutral fan's favorite team this year, because they're no threat. They lost to Marshall and Stanford. They're not making the playoffs, right? Like, so you get some chaos of getting to watch Marshall beat like a Power 5 team, even though they're independent, but like one of these big boys. And then at the same time, this little nobody team that nobody's threatened by is coming out and just being a giant killer, taking down number 4 Clemson. Like it is the number 1 team for people who are fans. Guys, I see some questions coming in here in the chat. Jail, you want to get to some of these?
Yeah.
Let's hit some of these questions. First, Preston. Good morning, Preston. What's up? He said Mostert or Gabe. Flex this week. Jay, would you be starting Raheem Mostert or Gabriel Davis at flex this week?
Ooh, let's see. So Miami has Chicago, and Buffalo has who is it again? So for this one, this is pretty close. I'm going to go Raheem Mostert against Chicago. That matchup is really nice for running backs. Really nice for running backs this week. I expect this game to be a little fun. I think the Miami Chicago game could turn into some fun here. So I'm going to go Raheem Mostert.
And this one's close for me. I feel like Gabe Davis is the upside play, right? Like it's the play if you need a home run. Raheem Mostert. There's safety there. But if you need a 2-touchdown game, if you need a guy that can drop 30 points, throw Gabe Davis in that lineup. Mostert should still be the lead back this week. Tommy's saying Mostert splitting with the new back in town. big of a split this week. Mostert's been killing it for the Dolphins recently.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gabe Davis
Also-
does have the Jets to see Dave come in here. Yeah, the Jets, not the best matchup for wide receivers, turns out.
Not at all. Blurpy in here. What's up, Blurpy? Good morning. So do you think
What up,
Gibson
Blurps?
and Drake for Olave is fair? So Antonio Gibson and Kenyon Drake for Chris Olave. We just got the news that Michael is out for the rest of the season, most likely, Jo. So Olave could have that wide receiver 1 role secured. And Jarvis Landry hasn't played in a month. We're still waiting for news on him today if he's going to be back in the lineup.
Yeah, I'm not making this trade at all. I'd rather have Olave. With Michael Thomas out, Olave is the guy there, and he's looked so good. He's looked so good over the season. So I would much rather have the Olave side of this. What about you, Simon?
I'm with you. The hard part about this is like you got to have the depth to be able to do it, but the backs are Gibson and Drake. So I'm comfortable with that, Blurpy. I think that's 100% fair. Justin in here, interesting question, said Justin Herbert or Justin if Herbert, should I play Everton Palmer or Deion Jackson and Montgomery for Palmer full PPR? So let's just start with the Justin Herbert versus Justin Fields debate, JL. Which of those quarterbacks are you throwing in this week? Justin Fields has been rolling recently. Past 3. But Justin Herbert, I think, a little bit safer, right? You can feel more comfortable. He is that superstar that we expected him to be.
Absolutely. He's got Atlanta this week, Justin Herbert, that is. So I'm starting Justin Herbert over Justin Fields. I think this will be a good matchup. The total set on this game, 49.5.
Hot.
9.5. So Vegas is expecting a high scoring game.
Absolutely. I'm going Justin Herbert as well. And that is not an anti-Justin Fields take. It's just to start your studs. But he's got a good matchup. Justin Fields has been killing it recently, but there's a little bit more uncertainty with him, and they could throw the ball 13 times. And if he doesn't get those
Where do you
rushing
think he
yards,
finishes this week?
Who, Fields?
Fields, yeah. You think he's a QB1, top 12?
He's a top 12 quarterback this week in that game against Miami. I do. I think he's, but near that back end, somewhere 10 to 12. I've got him at 11 this week. I could see him finishing a little bit higher, but I'm comfortable. Like, I'm starting Fields in a bunch of leagues. You're just lucky
on that end as well.
Mr. Justin Garcia. Jill, now, would you play Josh Palmer or Deion Jackson this week? That was the other part from our friend here, Justin. Deion Jackson with Jonathan out this week is going to be the starting running back for the Indianapolis Colts. Joshua Palmer with both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen out this week is expected to be the wide receiver 1 there for Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. So we've got 2 players bigger roles because of injuries. Which one are you plugging in?
I think in a anything other than a non-PPR or standard league, I'm gonna start Joshua Palmer with with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen out. Joshua Palmer has the opportunity to be a firecracker this week. My gosh, he's got Atlanta. It's a good matchup, solid matchup. They are letting up the 31st most points in the league to wide receivers at the wide receiver position. Fantasy points to the wide receiver is the better way to say that. Joshua Palmer should be very good this week. In non-PPR formats, I'll lean towards the running back.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, but it's going to be Josh Palmer in any sort of PPR format for me as well. Just go look at the splits. Whenever Keenan Allen's out, the dude steps up, puts up double-digit fantasy points. When Mike Williams out, the dude steps up, puts up double-digit fantasy points. When both of these guys are out, it is hogs straight up for Josh Palmer.
Hogs up.
Full hog squeal.
Give us your best hog noise, JL. These are some baby hogs. These
did.
are hogs that are about to get slaughtered for some bacon. These aren't like wild hogs running through the forests of Arkansas.
This is Charlotte. This is Wilbur. This is a Wilbur hogs.
Wait, I just have to bring this up. You know how at the end of the movie Babe with the pig, the guy says like the very last line in Babe is "That'll do, pig. That'll do."
That'll do.
Somehow,
Mine that got mixed up with Shrek, and she always says, "That'll do, donkey. That'll do."
in the Shrek voice. Does Shrek say that at any point in the? And like I was like, I think you're mixing up movies there. And she was like, that's funny because someone at work. If that was from Shrek, and I said absolutely. And now everyone at work saying it. We had some more questions come in here in the chat, JL. Well, first of all, Dave giving the shout out to
Toronto area. Hogs out for the Toronto representation.
And then Justin wanted to know, JL, if you had to pick one of these players, another Deion Jackson question. This is half PPR. You got to pick one. Deion Jackson, Kenyon Drake,
or Khalil Herbert. Who are you plugging in?
Ooh. Jamal Williams. Run those names back again, Simon.
Kenyon Drake, Deion Jackson, Jamal Williams, Herbert
Are the options.
Oh boy. All right. So, and I'm picking 2.
Picking 2.
All right, I'm going to lock in Jamal Williams. He has been fantastic. The matchup this week against Green Bay is solid. Next, I'm going to go with Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake is my number 2 here. Him going against New Orleans, not the best matchup. Oh, you know what? I'm going to switch it. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go Khalil Herbert. The matchup's much easier for him, and Kenyon Drake are close enough in my rankings that I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to make Khalil Herbert, move him above Kenyon Drake this week.
And Justine letting us know that it's actually pick 1. So
and
pick 1.
Even easier, Jamal Williams.
And it's Jamal Williams for me as well. I'm going to roll Jamal Williams out there. Famed Tiger said, good morning. What's up, Famed Tiger? Welcome in here.
What up, Famed Tiger?
Choose a flex, please. Happily. Terry McLaurin, David Montgomery, Deion Jackson, Christian Kirk, James Conner, or Evan Ingram. Dale, long list of names there, and all of them, I think, in a similar range. Which one of those players are you starting? Terry McLaurin, David Montgomery, Deion Jackson, Christian Kirk, James Conner, or Evan Ingram?
Ooh, all right. I'm going to lock in Terry McLaurin.
I think it's just one.
Just starting one. Then it's Terry McLaurin for me. Terry McLaurin going against Minnesota this week. He's the best player in there.
Yeah, I think it's Terry McLaurin for me as well. I'm tempted by Christian Kirk. I think it's a fantastic matchup this week against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm expecting big games from him and Trevor Lawrence, but it's Terry McLaurin just ever so slightly ahead of him. Guys, coming up, we're going to keep on answering more of your questions, break down today's games, and inactives are going to be hitting ever so shortly. So we'll make sure to keep you up to news on this week 9 Sunday. We'll be right back, but you're listening to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. No, you're not. You're listening to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network.
We're joined right now by Dave Eisman, co-founder of Jock Market. Dave, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Doing?
Thank you for
coming on.
sponsoring the show on the network and everything, man. We much appreciate it.
How would you recommend a novice make their introduction into Jock Market?
For most people, we recommend we have free beginner contests. So anyone, if you played fewer than 50 events, free to enter. And instead of trading with cash like you do in our cash markets, we give everyone chips, the same number of chips to trade, and we rank people at the end based on how many chips you finish with. So totally free to enter, only against other novices, and you can sort of build a portfolio in a way that you would with real cash, just in a way that's a little more risk-free. For the people that are more, a little more adventurous and you want to deposit right away, I'd say pick, 1 or 2 players you think are going to be undervalued, and it's just that simple, right? They're undervalued today. I think they're going to outperform. Buy a couple shares and watch what happens to the price. Watch where people are offering to pay for them. And then as the game goes on, you say like, hey, Lamar Jackson's having a real bad first half, let's say. He's probably going to be the most expensive player. There might be opportunity to buy low on him, or kind of watch as the game goes on and how the prices react. I'd say that's probably the best way to.
So it's like a second screen experience where you kind of have to have it up while you're watching the games on Sunday and stuff like that to really be able to truly take advantage, huh?
Actually, what's great is that we have a lot of people that do that, but a lot of people will buy before the games and just
come back and check.
Yeah, because we have the guaranteed payouts at the end. You don't have to trade. There might be an opportunity for you to, reallocate your funds or invest more, buy, sell, short sell, whatever you want to do. But we have plenty of people who just buy and hold, and that's their whole experience, and they do pretty well on that.
Pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy is sponsored by Jock Market.
Welcome back in, everyone, to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on Bettor Sports Network, brought to you today by our friends over at Jock Market. Corey and Nando just told you a little bit about them, but guys, if you do not know what Jock Market is, they offer a daily live to buy and sell shares of athletes in real time with other users, all for real money. And each share is a guaranteed payout at the end of the night. If you download now using promo code BETTOR, you will receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. And your first market will also be risk up to $100. Remember, download the Jock Market app now and use promo code BETTOR. And Dale, this next question from Dame that we had come in here, there's a player that has been wild
Since week 1 that I have
a lot of faith in today that I'm feeling very good about. So let's hit this question. Might be a target over on Jock Market. Dame wanted to know, in a half PPR league, which 2 give you the best feels? So which 2 give you the best feels this week? Cordero Patterson versus the Chargers, DJ Moore versus Cincinnati or AJ Dillon versus.
Start us off on this one.
This is the week. This is the week we're getting a bounce back from Mr. AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon is going to have himself a game against the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers defense is abysmal. It is terrible, specifically against the running back position. What?
Don't be mean to the Lions. They're trying really hard.
Yeah, they're working so hard and they're going to be great. They've got a winning culture. I love their head coach, but that defense is god awful, which is good news for the opposing running backs. Aaron Jones is going to have himself a day, but I expect AJ Dillon to be in the double-digit carries again and to have himself a day as well. So AJ Dillon definitely gives me the good feels this week. And then it's DJ Moore versus Cincinnati. The Peach to Deej connection continues. I'm rolling with those two. Patterson coming off injury isn't gonna cut it over these two guys for me. What about you, JL?
Yeah, I'm gonna go DJ Moore. I'm gonna go with you, Simon. While the matchup isn't fantastic, that Peach to Deej connection has been fantastic. But I completely agree with you on the AJ Dillon comeback week. It's a good matchup for him. So I'm pro AJ Dillon this week as well.
Pro AJ Dillon this week.
We have another question in here. This one, Tommy just rolling in running back riches, it seems. He had to wait a little bit for some of them, but he's got Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne. Has to bench
One of those three players.
of Josh Jacobs, Travis Etienne, and Kenneth Walker. Which one are you throwing on your bench? I don't want to bench any of these guys, but I'm guessing Tommy's got someone better in his flex, so he's going to. Who are you throwing on the bench?
Start all three of these guys, Tommy. Don't bench a single one of them. But if you have to, I guess Kenneth Walker is the one I would bench.
I'm with all top 12 running backs this week in my mind. Every single one of them. Josh Jacobs and Travis Etienne, they're going against each other, and the matchup is juicy for both of them. It is a great matchup for both Josh Jacobs and Travis Etienne. I'm jamming them in there. Kenneth Walker in a high-scoring game, an expected high-scoring game against the Arizona Cardinals. I want some of that too. Who's in your flex, Tommy? Because I just have a hard time believing. No flex. There is no flex in that league.
The heck kind of league you playing in, Tommy?
Add a flex spot next year, Tommy. That's my advice. Get the league riled up. Start going on and on now for an offseason vote to add a flex spot.
Yeah, I don't want you coming in here with these same questions next year, Tommy.
Tommy's like, in my league, I start 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and no quarterbacks. People on my bench. Who should I start?
3-player,
Yeah.
14 team bench, 14 player bench.
14 player bench. Oh, 5 kickers as well. Oh, of course. Yeah. So 8 players, 5 of them kickers. And it's a 14 team league. You get to start
punters as well in that league.
I think it's not just kickers.
Oh, great.
Now, Trey came in here. Good morning, Trey. Wanted to know full PPR
morning,
sit
Trey.
1. Juju, Boyd, or Josh Palmer. Thanks and good luck to.
Man, that is a tough question. JL, which of those 3
are you benching? Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyler Boyd, or Josh Palmer? Josh Palmer, like we mentioned, stepping into that wide receiver 1 role with both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out. Jamar Chase is out, so he's stepping into that wide receiver 2 role for the Bengals.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting Juju Smith-Schuster this week. It is a solid matchup for him going against Tennessee. But these other guys, Tyler Boyd with Jamar Chase being out, Joshua Palmer with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen being out, and both of them have pretty solid matchups. The Joshua Palmer's matchup is very enticing against Atlanta. Tyler Boyd has Carolina, which is also a plus matchup here for him. Those 2 guys I'm starting with. I'm sitting Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm going to see how this whole wide receiver core shakes up with Kadarius Toney, and they're starting today as well.
I just can't bench Juju this week.
I just cannot do it. This is expected to be a decently high-scoring game. Tennessee is weak against the wide receiver position. I believe they're bottom 5 or bottom 6 points. And Patrick Mahomes is the guy slinging the ball to him. I'm leaving Juju in there, and I think this is going to be Josh Palmer on the bench for me. It is a good matchup. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are out, but 2 great other options. Josh Palmer's just the lowest ranked one for me. So I'm going to start Juju and Tyler Boyd and leave Joshua Palmer on the bench. That feels wrong, though. Feels wrong to leave Josh Palmer on the bench this week. Do you ever get the feeling of this is the time? I'm not going to start him now. Why is he even on my team?
Yes. Yeah. And especially if you spent some fab to pick him up, right? What is your strategy here?
We had our friend Amon Green come on, and he said, I have a new rule this year. I messed if I spend fab on a player to pick them up, they're going into my starting lineup this week. What do you think about that philosophy?
I think it depends on what you're getting that player for, right? Like if you his sentiment of what he's saying is absolutely true, right? If you are getting a player to be a short-term fill-in, you should probably have them filling in in the short term. Otherwise, I think it's okay to spend fab and for long-term stashes as well. So there's different scenarios.
Absolutely. Gets in a question for us. Wants to know Isaiah Likely or Darnell Mooney at flex, or I could play both and bench TJ Hawkinson. So TJ Hawkinson on a new team. Jay, benching TJ Hawkinson, or are you benching Likely or Mooney?
This one is tough. Justin Fields has been playing better, but I haven't really seen it fully materialize for Darnell Mooney. I still think I'm going to play him in this game against Miami, which I expect to be high scoring. Isaiah Likely going against New Orleans, which is the best defense for tight end against a tight end in fantasy. And it's brutal. And then TJ Hawkinson against Washington, it's also not a solid matchup for him. It's also pretty bad. Washington's been very good against tight ends. I think it'd be Mooney. I'm going Mooney.
You're benching Mooney?
Sorry. No, I'm playing Mooney. I'm benching Hawkinson.
Oh, so you're going to play Mooney and Likely and bench Hawkinson.
Yes.
I think this is where I bench Likely. Like I understand he's on a new team, TJ Hawkinson, but it is a incredibly difficult matchup.
That Mark Andrews isn't going to
play, right? Like if Mark Andrews, we know for sure he's out. I know he's listed as doubtful, but if he's out for sure, then maybe I roll that way. But with that uncertainty, I'm going to just roll with Hawkinson and Mooney today. Leave Isaiah Likely.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, I mean, for me, one of the big tiebreakers between Hawkinson and Likely too is the over/under. I expect this New Orleans Baltimore game to be a little higher scoring than Minnesota versus Washington. Vegas agrees with me. Vegas has it at 47 total for the New England Baltimore game, 43.5 for the Minnesota Washington game.
For the New Orleans Baltimore game.
Yeah, what did I say?
England. Good day.
No,
that's
Orleans.
Australia.
Good day. I'm Billy B.
Good day, bloody hell. My name's Billy B.
I'm from New England.
I'm from New England.
Remember that stretch last year where you couldn't say New England? You just kept saying New England every time.
Do not jail. Why would you say that out loud right now? Like I had broken that habit from last year to this year, but it was like truly a problem. Every time I went to go see
you had to work on it.
New England came out like just over and over again. I just couldn't say England. Oh God, it's gonna happen at some point in this show. Maybe I just refer to them as the P.
My bad.
They are no longer New England. They are the New England. It's in my head
Patriots.
now, JL.
Yeah, it messed you up.
You stuck me in there. Jay had a question for us. Wants to know, should I or Joe Burrow? So John Luke, which of those quarterbacks would you be starting this week? We're getting a lot of Justin Fields questions, and I think rightfully so because he's on that line. People are starting to realize what he's been doing over the past 4 or 5 weeks. But are you plugging him in, or are you plugging Joe Burrow against Carolina?
Absolutely not. I'm playing Joe Burrow against Carolina. I'm not going to get cute with this and throw Justin Fields in. He has been decent for fantasy. He's also had a rushing touchdown in each of the last 2 games. And so I don't think Justin Fields has not been playing lights out. He hasn't been playing like Tua has been playing in the beginning of the season. It's not quite the same type of streak he's got. Joe Burrow is solid, and this matchup is decent for him against Carolina.
I'm with you. It's Joe Burrow for me as well. Again, not an anti-Justin Fields back this week. The questions have just been against top 5, top 6 kind of quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. Yeah. Let's play a game a little bit as we're going down this line, JL. Aaron Rodgers against Detroit or Justin Fields?
I would rather have Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I think I go Justin Fields here. I think I like the matchup. I like what Justin Fields has been doing. I like his rushing upside. I'll roll with Justin Fields. They've also been designing runs for him in the red zone. Like Justin Fields has had design plays for him to rush the ball in the red zone over the past couple weeks. Like they're consistently doing it. So I think he's a pretty safe bet for a rushing touchdown this week, especially against this Miami D. Though I guess they did just add Mr.
Shots. We'll see what that does to the Miami defense.
Joe,
what about Geno Smith versus Arizona or Justin Fields?
In that case, I'm going to go Justin Fields. I think that is close to where the line is for me. Geno Smith against Arizona, not the worst matchup, not bad, but I'd rather have Justin Fields at rushing.
Let's do one more. Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields? Kirk Cousins going against the Commanders.
Ooh, I would go Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Yeah, it's just both Kirk and Geno as well. And Quinn coming asking Justin Fields or Geno Smith right on cue. We would both go Justin Fields in this matchup. Guys, we're going to keep on answering your questions, and the inactives are about to start rolling in, so we'll make sure to keep you guys updated on the players that we are watching out for, see if they're going to play this week or not. You're listening to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network.
Durst here for Bettor Sports Network live at MetLife Stadium, and I'm back with my buddy Frank West. Frank, you got the deep fryer going. What do we got cooking here this morning?
We're playing the Buffalo Bills, so of course we got some buffalo wings. I got a batch ready right here. We got another batch going in. Also, already came out. We've got I made some buffalo chicken empanadas. Had to get a little bit of a break from the buffalo stuff, so I made some curry rubbed drumsticks. I smoked them up. My buddy Hector's over here on the grill. He's banging out some hamburgers. As always, we have our Gotham Glizzies. Those are those hot dogs that you tried last time. What else we got going today? I'm gonna do some caramel apples. As you can see, I got the caramel.
Can't forget dessert.
Yeah, I got the caramel melting now. So we're gonna do some caramel apples and of course Zeppelis. We do Zeppelis just about every game.
Sounds good. All right, we're gonna go take a look at the grill here and see what's on the grill as we walk around. As this guy's gonna be getting things growing here. So what are we making here today?
Just regular hamburgers.
The burgers here. He's gonna put one on the grill.
Just the burgers. As you said, take a look at the tray. So you guys are more than welcome to come out here.
Take a look at what's already been made. It'll walk us through everything here.
So we got our cheeseburgers, the empanadas, as Frank said, the Gotham Grizzlies, and the wings. So
all right. Looks good. So these guys are ready to feast, and it smells great. I'm gonna try some of this food. It looks delicious.
Pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy is sponsored by Jock Market.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network. Inactives have just started rolling in team by first team that came in jail, the Detroit Lions, and it's as expected. DeAndre Swift is active. He will be playing today. We'll see in what capacity, but wide receiver Josh Reynolds is out this week. So officially out, wide receiver Josh Reynolds. We were expecting that, but it is now official on the inactive report. Joe, Amon-Ra St. Brown back healthy, playing. Josh Reynolds out. DeAndre Hawkinson off this roster. Am I crazy for thinking we're back in the situation where he had his breakout last year, right? Where he's just the guy. The one player. The problem with Amon-Ra St. Brown for me this offseason was, we only saw him do it when he was alone. He's already shown us he can do it with other wide receivers in the offense. Now TJ Hawkinson gone, Josh Reynolds gone. I'm expecting huge things from Josh Reynolds this week, or from Amon-Ra St. Brown rest of season.
Yeah, I'm with you. The situation is solid for him. His offense is not fantastic, but it's good enough. And we've seen Amon-Ra St. Brown be fantastic in this offense, regardless of how bad they've been. So I'm with you, Simon. I think he's going to be fantastic. I have him as a top 12 wide receiver this week, back in top 12, but I think this is going to be a good game for him.
I agree with you. Corey Davis, the New York Jets inactives report coming in. We knew Corey Davis was going to be out. It is now official. He will not be playing. And for the Indianapolis Colts, Zach Moss not active this week. Neither is Jonathan Taylor. So it is, and Nyheim Hines traded. So it is a full go ahead for your Deion Jackson. Go ahead and start him. Joe, we've had a couple questions about Deion Jackson so far already. Now with the confirmation, Jonathan Taylor out, Zach Moss also not going to be active this first week down in Indy. What's the upside for Deion Jackson? He performed well last time instead of Jonathan Taylor.
He did. He was solid. I don't think that there's a ton of upside for him. While he's filling in, the opportunity will be there. I still have him as a back-end RB2 this week, going against New England, which has been pretty stout against the run. They've let out the second least amount of fantasy points to the running back position. So I don't expect this to be an easy game for Deion Jackson, but the opportunity is solid for him going forward.
I tend to agree with you. I've got him in like that RB3.
42 range. That's
very
very
startable, especially in week 9 where we have 6 teams on bye. 2 big ones that just came in, JL. Darren Waller, tight end for the Las Vegas, active. And this week, no Darren Waller. What is this doing for the other receiving options for you in Las Vegas? Is it changing your opinion on a Hunter Renfrow, on a Mac Hollins? I imagine it doesn't move Devontae Adams too much. He's a start no matter what.
He's a start no matter what. This Raiders offense has not been great. I hate to say that for you, Tommy, but they have not been good. It elevates the other options in this offense. To the question that you asked, Darren Waller being out obviously is more opportunity for those other guys, but I'm still pretty hesitant. I'm not starting Mac Hollins unless I have to. I'm not starting Hunter Renfrow unless I have to.
Yeah, those guys are strictly
at this point until I see the Raiders offense
start producing the way I thought it was going to at the beginning of this year.
But you're starting Devontae Adams, even though he got 0 last week, right? You're not scared.
Yeah, you have to. What do you like? What you're going to throw Devontae Adams on your bench? Like it was the Las Vegas Raiders. Even if they have another bad game, I can't imagine Devontae Adams gets skunked. He's going to be great.
Right.
On the Green Bay Packers, Allen Lazard and Christian Watson are both active for the Packers. So I know I was hopeful, fingers crossed, that Allen Lazard. JL, he didn't practice much this week, though. Are you nervous plugging in Allen Lazard into your starting lineup?
Yeah, absolutely. He's supposed to be a game time decision, so I am absolutely worried. We don't know how it's going to play out. If he's not healthy enough to even say on the day of, yeah, he's definitively in, then there's a ton of risk there. So you gotta take that into account and proceed with caution.
For the Miami Dolphins, running back Myles Gaskin and wide receiver River Craycraft are still out. So River Craycraft, if you were plugging him in hoping for a touchdown, he was a touchdown machine earlier this year. You're not going to get that. Am I saying that?
I have no idea. That it sounds funny when you say it. Yeah.
Is it Craycraft?
Craycraft.
Like you're cold and you're making a box of mac and cheese. Like, what do you want? Kraft mac and cheese.
What cheddar?
Thick and creamy Kraft mac and cheese. Is that what you want?
Sure, that's very pleasant to listen to.
Cheese Kraft mac and cheese. Sorry, River Kraft.
I'm just fully disrespecting your name for like way too long here to nobody's benefit. Dale, we're gonna keep an eye on these inactives as they keep on rolling in. We've got some questions that should be more beneficial than just me saying Kraft over and over again.
I wanted to know,
what's your favorite Buffalo food item, and do the Jets have a chance today? So we'll start. JL, do you have a favorite Buffalo food item from the city of Buffalo?
Yeah, easy. Buffalo cauliflower. Buffalo cauliflower, fantastic. One of my top foods, especially game day foods.
I'm gonna like zoom out even a little bit more and just say buffalo sauce. Like I know that's a cop-out answer, but when I discovered buffalo sauce, like
are either of these things from Buffalo?
I didn't eat wet food for a long time, Jay. Like I was a no sauce kind of guy. It grossed me out, weird with textures. But then I started eating sauces and I tried buffalo sauce and I put it on every single thing I ate for like
nice.
Like
I just lived in buffalo sauce for like 6 months. It's
number one. But JL, the other half of this question, do you think the New York Jets stand a chance today against the Buffalo Bills? They're 10.5-point dogs at home.
Yeah, they absolutely stand a chance. That chance isn't very high, but they absolutely stand the chance for sure. I'd give them like just looking at 538, they got them at 24% chance to win this game.
Higher than I thought it was going to be.
Man,
I dove into a
rabbit hole on how 538 calculates those percentages over the weekend, JL. Like they've got a full-on article breaking it down.
You dove deep into that article?
Links to other articles that explain words in there that you have no idea what they mean. So then you go down that rabbit hole. It's if you want to go down like a
they're doing over there.
Yeah. To go to with what you're saying, ESPN currently gives them a 17.8% chance of winning. So relatively similar to what they're predicting over there at 538. I don't think they have a chance. I know it's the NFL. Any given
Al
Sunday,
the chat
but
said 0.0000001%. And he goes, it's a chance.
So you're
Nailed
saying
it.
there's a
Got it.
chance.
So you're
Some Dumb and
saying
Dumber
there's a
logic
chance.
right here. We had some more questions come in over here. Grim
or Arizona for my survivor pick this week.
Well, first of all, congratulations on still being alive in your survivor pool in week 9 of the 2022 NFL season. That is absurd. But JL, which
Going with Seattle or
Arizona, they are playing each other. And Arizona's a 1.5 point favorite. So it is close to a pick 'em. They got to pick one of these two teams. Where would you be rolling?
You're flip a coin. Flip a coin, Grimpan, because this game is close and it could go either way. Looking at 538's projections, they got Cardinals at a 53% chance of winning. 53% chance. That isn't crazy high. So if you really want to go the safe way, you can go Cardinals. I think I would go a little contrarian to 538 here. I'd go Seahawks in this.
I'm tempted to go Seahawks, but I think I'm just going to roll with the Cardinals. I like them at home. I like what DeAndre Hopkins has done to this offense. But really, I'm just expecting this to be a fun game. And more than anything, I'm just unbelievably jealous and resentful that you're alive in week 9 and I got eliminated in week 1 for the 5th year in a row. Five years in a row, JL, I've been eliminated in week 1.
Brutal.
And then my pick'ems, like the rest of the year, I do a full pick'em. Doing pretty good. Like fairly well in my overall pick'em, but in a survivor pool, it is rough. It is absolutely rough. Guys, we're going to keep on answering these questions over here in the chat, but just want to remind everyone is sponsored by our friends over at Jock Market. And a reminder, Jock Market is a daily market for sports that lets you buy and sell shares of athletes in real time with other users for real money. Download the Jock Market app and use promo code Bettor, and you will have your first deposit matched up to $100, 100% deposit match. And that first market you play is going to be risk-free. So download the Jock Market app, use code Bettor, and get that money.
Following players' values during today's game.
Our next question that came in, JL, Emily Anderson Saw. Good morning, Emily. Welcome in. Glad to have you here.
What up, Emily? Good morning. Good to see you.
This week.
So the Las Vegas Raiders defense or the Jacksonville Jaguars defense going up against each other. Both defense
so far this
season. Which one are you rolling out, JL?
The Jacksonville Jaguars defense started off the season super solid. So it hasn't been crazy rough, like crazy amazing for them the whole season, but they have the talent, they have the ability. I'm going to go Jacksonville. I think they're a top 10 defense this week. I would rather have the defense facing the Las Vegas offense than I would the defense facing the Jacksonville offense. So if I have to choose between the two, I'm going to go Jacksonville.
The defense that doesn't suck ass than the defense that.
So that's why I'm going to go with the Jacksonville
Jaguars. Sorry, Tommy. It's
Smart.
Pretty rough. The
suck ass.
Start your Jaguars. Start your offense. Trevor Lawrence is a start for me this week, JL. The Raiders have been abysmal against opposing quarterbacks, giving up like 21 points. They've been sucking ass, giving up 21 points to that they've played so far this year. Trevor Lawrence, this is going to be a nice little bounce back game for him. I see Tommy in the chat saying Raider hater. I'll be pulling for the Raiders. I love the Raiders, but I just do not want to start their defense if I can avoid it this week. Either. I mean, they're on bye, so that makes it a little bit easier, but I'm not even starting my team's defense this week either, Tommy.
Smart.
Smart. Yeah, that's a pro move, guys. Don't start your players. We hit this next question. I want to remind everyone of the teams that we do have on bye this week in case you got any of those players in your lineup. Might be shocking to go look at your roster and see 3/4 of it on bye. The teams on bye this week:
Cowboys, the Denver Broncos,
the New York Giants, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the San Francisco 49ers. So not just 6 teams, but 6 teams with quite a few fantasy relevant players on them as well. But you don't get probably why there's a bunch of we're getting some this week. This one comes from Dame JL. Devin Duvernay or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Who are you plugging in this week? Rashad Bateman. For those that hadn't heard the news for the season, it sounds like he's having surgery and he's not going to play for the rest of the year. So Devin Duvernay stepping into that wide receiver 1 role. And then CEH has been splitting work with the other backs in this Kansas City offense. JL, who are you plugging in? Who are you playing?
Oh, I've been disparaging Devin Duvernay for weeks. He just hasn't been able to do it. Has not been able to do it. This matchup is pretty solid for him against New Orleans. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I just can't trust him. I'm going to go Duvernay over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. At this point, I think I'm I'm out on CEH. Tennessee is going against Tennessee, which is a pretty tough matchup against the run. They'll probably have to throw a lot, so I'm gonna go Devin Duvernay.
Yeah, not just a tough matchup against the run, but the Tennessee defense is like specifically weak against wide receiver, and they've got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's feeling like
They're gonna feed the wide receivers this week.
Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney now on the Kansas City Chiefs? I've got him on a couple benches. I'm not playing him anywhere. It's more of a hold and you play lineups.
Not if I don't have to. This is going to be his first game starting for the Kansas City Chiefs. It is a solid matchup, like you said, against Tennessee. But I got to see how they're going to work him into this. Maybe they get him. If you want to go with the narrative street and say, okay, they just traded for him, Kadarius Toney. He's gonna require some usage, and Andy Reid's gonna appease him in that way. I'd be okay starting him, but I'm not expecting much. I'd put him at like wide receiver 6 or something this week. I'm sorry.
Not wide receiver 6 overall, a wide receiver 6, right? You're saying
yes.
Times 12, whatever that number is. Top 72.
I didn't put that much thought into that number, so I was that area.
That area. I'm with you, JL. I'm not plugging Kadarius Toney in if I can avoid it this week.
What's up, Super C? We want to know Christian Kirk, Khalil Herbert,
Deion Jackson, or Joshua Palmer at flex in a full PPR league. So, JL, those names again were Christian Kirk, Khalil Herbert, Deion Jackson, and Joshua Palmer. Which of those would you?
Will you go first on this one? I'm having a little issue here.
Absolutely. I'm plugging in Christian Kirk if I have to pick one of those.
Defense has been
terrible against opposing quarterbacks, and quarterbacks.
I'm going to plug in
Christian Kirk and have some confidence that this is a good week, like we saw at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Simon. Christian Kirk is the guy out of that list. Sorry about that. My internet is being a little messed up right now.
Idiot. Christian Kirk for you as well. Not idiot. You. Your internet's an idiot, not you, JL.
Christian Kirk for me as well.
You are an idiot, but not because of your internet.
Right, of course.
Tunyon or Evan Ingram this week, full PPR. Are you rolling with Big Buns Tunyon or are you Ingram?
Big Bubby Buns Tunyon. I'm gonna go with Evan Ingram in this one. Evan Ingram has been super solid.
I think I'm going with Evan Ingram as well, JL. He's getting the volume. He doesn't need a touchdown. Fantasy. That's Big Buns Tunyon's MO, though he has been getting a little bit more usage recently. Now, JL, what about Kenyon Drake or Michael Carter? So that's another player that's not going to be playing this week. The Jets traded for James Robinson, but James Robinson is not. Will be the Michael Carter show with Breece Hall out. No James Robinson playing yet. Or with Gus Edwards likely not playing. Which one of these backs would you be throwing into your lineup?
I'll be starting Kenyon Drake. Michael Carter against that Buffalo defense the Buffalo defense has been solid all around, but they have been specifically stopping the run. So I'm gonna go Kenyon Drake.
I'm gonna go Kenyon Drake as well here. I don't have.
This is a tough matchup for him.
Really tough. Now, Hayden Hurst, Isaiah Likely, or Tyler Conklin in a PPR league. So those are your options. Which one of these tight ends are you rolling with?
Ooh. I think I would end up going with. I think I'm going to go with Isaiah Likely Monday. I am expecting Mark Andrews to not play this week. That matchup is solid, and I think they'll rely on the tight end.
I think I'm rolling with Hayden Hurst going up against Carolina. I don't mind the matchup. Jamar Chase out. I think he'll be involved. I'm just a little like Isaiah Likely is a good start this week. I do believe that. I also think Hayden Hurst is a good start, and you're eliminating some of the Monday night risk. Will Mark Andrews play? Will he not? And on top of that, the tough matchup against New Orleans. I'll roll out Hayden Hurst, but I'm not too thrilled about it.
Yeah.
Mark wanted to know Cordero Patterson or Kenyon Drake. So Patterson is active this week. It seemed like rolling out Cordero Patterson or Kenyon Drake.
I'm going to roll out Kenyon Drake in this one.
I'm going to roll out Kenyon Drake as well. If you can avoid starting Patterson, you do. It's his first week.
First week back.
Here's another question, another Christian Kirk question. It seems like maybe people are catching on that this is a great matchup for him, but he's been disappointing recently. Would you start Christian Kirk or Gabriel Davis in a full PPR league? Davis.
Ooh. Said full PPR?
Full PPR.
Full PPR becomes a little interesting because that gives a little boost to Christian Kirk. He gets a little more receptions than Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis going against the New York Jets. Got to lean Christian Kirk.
I think I'm leaning Christian Kirk as well, Jail. I like the matchup. I think he's going to have a great week. But Gabe Davis, again, he could blow up. He could have a 2-touchdown game. He's that kind of player. So if you need just pure upside, I think I'll still roll with Gabe Davis. But which player do I expect to have a better week? It's a positive matchup going against the Raiders. Emily had another question for us, JL, and this one a little bit spicy. Tua Tagovailoa or Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Lamar Jackson playing Monday night. New Orleans Saints playing against Chicago today.
That is an interesting question. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Lamar against New Orleans on Monday night. You could make the argument that with Bateman out, Mark Andrews likely out, that Tua is a safer pick here, and I would be okay going that route. But I think Lamar Jackson has that upside. He's just the type of player that I would rather be playing him over Tua. Those tiebreakers aren't enough for me.
Man, it is so close. I like it is so close. So you guys are back to back, but if you've got Lamar Jackson on your team, like that's just how I feel about it. I think Tua is a great start this week. Both of these guys have top quarterback position in week 9. But I'm going to roll with Lamar Jackson. I just can't put him on my bench. I can't do it. We got Matt in here saying that he's calling Deshaun Jackson touchdown for the Ravens. JL, how you feeling about that one? Would you throw some money on that?
I don't know if I throw money on it. You could. Deshaun Jackson finds a way to get his. I don't know that I would be confident to throw my money on old Deshaun Jackson, but hey, if you want that long shot play, go for it.
I wonder what the odds are right now for Deshaun Jackson.
I can look it up for you.
Or I'm gonna see if I got it pulled up right here. Let's see
where he is on that list, if he's even on it. I don't see him. I don't see him on the list. What about you, JL?
Yeah, I'm not seeing him either.
Well, I bet there's odds out there somewhere for Mr. Deshaun Jackson.
Some crazy sports book.
Our friend Jordan had a question, JL. He wanted to know Robert Tonyan or
in that second flex spot. So Brian Robinson has been losing some work to
Antonio Gibson recently after looking like he was going to be the starting back there. Are you starting Big Buns Tonyan, the tight end, or Brian Robinson, running back for the Commanders, in that second flex spot?
I would start Big Buns Tonyan. Going against Detroit, they are giving up the 28th most points to the tight end position this week. That Vegas has this total set at 49.5, which is solidly high. So I'm going to go Tonyan, Big Buns.
Big Buns Tonyan, and
I'll take Big Buns Tonyan as well.
Direction
for Brian Robinson. Antonio Gibson seems to be stealing that job back. So I'll throw in Mr. Big Buns in the positive matchup.
Oh, big
JML Sports in here. Want to know, pick 2 out of 3. So we need to bench one of these players, JL. DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco, and Zay Jones in a half PPR league. Which one of those 3 players would you be benching? DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco, or Zay Jones?
So Swift, if he's playing, he's in. This is like Lamar rules here. Zay Jones going against Las Vegas. Isaiah Pacheco going against Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go Zay Jones and DeAndre Swift, so I will bench Isaiah Pacheco this week.
I'm going to bench Isaiah Pacheco, leave Zay Jones in that lineup. I think I'm benching Zay Jones and just rolling Isaiah Pacheco out there. I feel a little bit safer in that. But the match,
isn't it? Like
it is a nice matchup for Zay Jones, but I'm rolling with Isaiah Pacheco and DeAndre Swift. Oh man, this one hurts my feelings, Jale. This next question.
Easy Money Sicilian.
What's up, my friend Easy? He wants to know Terrace Marshall.
Sicilian?
Terrace Marshall or Chase Claypool in a full PPR league?
I'll go first. Simon.
I'll go first. Mr. Terrace Marshall, I've done nothing but disparage you since your rookie season. I gave up fully on you. I said you were droppable in all formats. Dynasty, I said there was no hope that you could do anything. And you know what?
Getting the volume, he's getting the targets.
With Robbie Anderson out of town, Matt Rule gone, PJ Walker taking over at QB, it's been looking all right for Mr. Terrace Marshall. And if your other option is Chase Claypool, I'm rolling with Terrace Marshall. That's who I'm going to plug in. What about you, JL?
I am with you, Simon. I'm so glad to hear you walk back your statement on Terrace Marshall because I never gave up hope. And it feels good.
I
So
think
I'm also going to go Terrace Marshall.
I think part of the reason I gave up hope was because I traded Jalen Waddle in, like, not directly, but we traded draft picks. Like, I moved back one spot. You took Jalen Waddle. I took Terrace Marshall. And so it's just like that extra burn of him not being Jalen Waddle.
Hurts even more.
It hurts even more.
Meanwhile, I turned him into Jalen Waddle, and so I love him.
Yeah.
And I already did like him.
I liked him. I just now Jalen Waddle. Also, we're getting an update. The Bears head coach Matt Eberflus said that Claypool could play anywhere between 10 to 35 snaps today.
Okay.
Between 10 and 35. That is so unhelpful. That is like the least helpful bit of update we could have gotten from a head coach. We had some more questions coming. Said they're starting Minnesota's defense and Kansas City's defense in separate leagues. Should they roll with them or look somewhere else on the? So I guess let's just hit on those defenses. The Minnesota Vikings and the Kansas City Chiefs this week. Kansas City Chiefs going up against Tennessee. The Vikings going up against Washington. Are you feeling good with those matchups, or would you look elsewhere?
I feel good with those matchups. The Chiefs are going against Tennessee. I think they'll be a solid defense this week. That Tennessee offense has not been very good. I believe we're going to make Malik Willis again this week. So it should be a solid matchup for the Kansas City Chiefs, even though their defense hasn't been fantastic. I'm over with them. I doubt you'll find probably a better defense on the waiver wire than them this week.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Minnesota Vikings are both very startable level defenses this comfortable with it. And when I'm looking at teams that may be above them this week, I can't imagine any of them on the waiver wire. The Bills, the Patriots, the Buccaneers, the Ravens. Like, I'm just not seeing any. So I would roll with those two defenses, Grant fan. Jacob wanted to know, I need a deep league. Darnell Mooney, Alec Pierce, Zay Jones, Khalif Raymond, or Isaiah McKenzie. Dale, I'm rolling with Mooney. He's been throwing the ball a little bit more. It looks like his connection with Mooney's pretty solid, and I expect this game to be a fun one against the Miami Dolphins, and I want Darnell Mooney in that lineup. But there's some other good options here. Are you rolling with Mooney, or are you taking Pierce, Zay Jones, Khalif Raymond, or McKenzie?
Oh, I like Darnell Mooney the most out of that group as well. I think second, I would put. I think I'd put Zay Jones. Khalif Raymond. It's not a bad emergency play either, though.
I know Better Boss down there is happy hearing you say Khalif Raymond. He loves some Khalif.
Me utter the words Khalif Raymond.
Hey Matt, this is for you. Khalif
Raymond.
Beautiful. Just for you. Guys, if any players get you going, let us know and we will seduce you by saying the name directly into the microphone. Yeah. We had a question in here from this is a 2QB dynasty league, and it looks like he's trying to trade away Kamara. In a dynasty league. He's got two options here. This is a fun one. Ayuk, a first-round pick, and James Conner. And Najee Harris. Both of these for Kamara. So trade away Kamara. Which trade would you prefer? Ayuk a first and James Conner, or DJ Moore and Najee Harris?
I would much rather have DJ Moore and Najee Harris. I think that's a slam dunk trade. My God, that is just a stupid load of value on the other side of that.
I'm 100% with you, Jail. If you can buy low on Najee Harris right now, then buy low on
and
Najee
DJ Moore
Harris.
in Dynasty.
It's hot.
It's hot. Not that I'm like a
That's a good trade.
Anything.
Yeah.
Not biased towards DJ Moore at all.
That's David.
Yeah,
Moore,
that's a David Moore. That's a David Moore jersey. That's a Michael Moore jersey behind me.
That's it, right? That's why it's so
offensive line base for the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, that's why it's an XL. Why do all autographed jerseys come in XL, JL?
I think it's because people like big.
Like big. See, in my mind, like the autographed jersey people, they should be using less material because it's cheaper for them, right? And most of us are just going to throw them in a cage anyways. That's a cool word for a frame. Cage.
That is pretty cool. It's a much better word for a frame. If Michaels wanted to increase their frame sales to like the men world, or just like toxic masculinity world, to start calling them cages.
Come get your photo cage.
Come get your photo page right here, Michaels.
We've got photo cages you can hang on the wall. Photo cages.
Photos.
We'll hit Michael's up. Maybe Michael sponsors the show, and then we can just talk about cages over and over. Alex Smith in here. Alex Smith, thank you so much for joining. Really incredible what you came back from and still started in the NFL. It was unbelievable and inspirational to watch. But Dale, Alex Smith has a question for us. DeAndre Swift,
Up, Alex.
Eno Benjamin, AJ Dillon, or TJ Hawkinson, pick 2. For me, this is pretty clear cut. DeAndre Swift's playing, you play DeAndre Swift, and then the other guy is AJ Dillon, who's got a beautiful matchup against the Lions this week. And I like AJ Dillon as a smash play. You going with Swift and Dillon as well, JL?
Yes, sir. Swift and Dillon, easy for me.
Titan CW wanted to know Akers, Rashad White, Justice Hill, or
Answer. Should we skip it?
he said please, so we won't skip. Joe, which of those players would you be starting? Cam Akers, Rashad White, Justice Hill, or Alexander Madison?
Ooh, okay. Alexander Madison is Washington, Justice Hill's New Orleans, Cam Akers has Tampa Bay, and Rashad White has the Rams. I think I would go Rashad White here. I think I'd go Rashad White. Alexander Madison is interesting, but Alvin Cook's playing, so can't expect too much from there, even though the matchup is solid. Rashad White. I think I'm going to go Rashad White here, Simon. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about these options until I see Cam Akers saying, like, I'm back with the Chiefs, or with the not the Chiefs. I'm back with the Rams. I'm going to be playing
back with the Chiefs.
It's just wishful thinking from Cam Akers. If he says it enough, it'll be true. Just like, yep, and I'm back with the Chiefs. Here I am. No, Cam Akers is on the Rams, but he doesn't want to be, so I'm going to avoid starting him. It's Rashad White for me as well. Guys, we're going to keep on answering your questions and rolling through these matchups, helping you get prepared for your Week 9 fantasy games. You're listening to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network.
Your BSN timeout, and today we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, that is the futures market for the upcoming college basketball season. With me, as always, the captain of our ship at Green Screens Media, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, why don't you kick us off with some favorites that you think are still good bets to place?
Yeah, let's go national runner-up North Carolina, plus 140 to win the ACC, plus 900 to win the national championship. Core 4 players are back: Baycott, Love, Davis, and Black. Coach Hubert Davis entering year 2 with confidence. The loss of Brady Manick is tough, but Northwestern transfer Pete Nance will help soften that blow. Let's slide over to the Pac-12. Some West Coast action, plus 190 to win the Pac-12, plus 1,600 for UCLA to win the national championship. Coach Mick Cronin has done a fantastic job building up this powerhouse program. At 2 stars, Tiger Campbell and Jaime Hawkes coming back, as well as 2 5-star freshmen, Amari Bailey and Adam Bona. This team is loaded and ready to make a run.
Love the Bruins this year. I'm going to go for the repeat. Kansas Jayhawks plus 215 to win the Big 12, plus 1,300 to win it all. It's a young team, right? They lost a lot of pieces from this title team last year, but managed to retain Jalen Wilson and DeJuan Harris and reloaded with a bunch of 5-star talent. Might take a minute for this team to click, but ultimately Bill Self is a proven winner. Really like them for those 1,300 natty odds. Other side of the coin, underdogs and values. Mike, where are you going to get a little bit of juice in your futures bets?
Yeah, let's go to the wide open Big Ten. Ohio State plus 1,100. Loss of E.J. Liddell and Malachi Branham to the NBA was tough, but can be relying on a lot of freshmen early on, like Bryce Sensabaugh, Tanner Holden, and Sam McNeil coming through in the transfer portal. His team has question marks, but they may have answers by midseason. Let's slide on over to the ACC as well, plus 2,000 for Notre Dame. They finished tied for second in the ACC last year. They returned a veteran squad, includes lethal three-point shooters Cormac Ryan, Dane Goodwin, Nate Lejeski. Incoming 5-star guard J.J. Starling could be the X factor.
Plus 2,000 to win the conference. They came in second in last year. I love that call. For me, I'll go the Tennessee Volunteers plus 3,000 to win the national title. This is a team that won the SEC tournament last year. Rick Barnes, we know, can recruit, so he has an absolutely loaded team top to bottom. Guys like Triple J and Vescovi are legit difference makers in this league, so love them at that plus 3,000 price. Last category, player of the year. Mike, who do you like to bring home the Wooden Award?
Let's go with the long shot, Keontae George from Baylor, plus 6,000. Freshman no strangers to winning the National Player of the Year. He lit it up in the Global Jam this past summer. He's a 3-level scorer, plus defender, one of the top NBA prospects.
I'll go chalk here. Armando Baycott, plus 900. We talk about the Tar Heels as a favorite to win it all. Baycott has a lot to do with it. Last year, 16 and 13, almost 2 blocks per game, and can legitimately take a step forward on this loaded Tar Heels team. That will do it for your BSN timeout. Make sure you stay locked to the Bettor Sports Network and check out Green Screens Media on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube so you don't miss a minute of our college basketball coverage.
Pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy is sponsored by Jock Market.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back into Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on Bettor Sports Network. Today, sponsored by our friends over at Jock Market. Download the Jock Market app now using promo code BETTOR for a 100% deposit match up to $100 in a risk-free first play. Joining us on the show right now, he skipped out on us like he's got better things to do, is Joey, right? What's up, Joey?
Not a whole lot. Hey, I'm going to the Buck game today. I could not come in on a Sunday morning. I had to come see you guys. Just checking into our hotel. The stadium's about 10 minutes away. You can get a bite to eat. And then, listen, I'm in luxury box seats today. I'm going to be living the high life. I don't know. Maybe me and Brady are going to hang out after the game. Shoot the shit. We'll see what happens.
Well, you the rebound?
Are you gonna punch him in the nuts to tell him to play better?
No, we listen. We're having a pregame meeting, Mr. Brady and I, and we're gonna get it straight today. We're gonna beat the Rams for sure.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're taking the Bucks over the Rams today, Joey?
Listen, I've got a funny story. I am taking the Bucks over the Rams. I'm on the right here with my buddy Josh. Josh is right over there, right? Say hi, Josh.
Oh, what's up, Josh?
So Josh is the one that provided me with the seats. So super exciting. And I was talking about Tom Brady, I get to finally say that I saw the GOAT play in person. I get to say I saw Tom Brady play live. And he goes, "Oh, we get to see that today?" So my friend Josh does not watch football. So he gets to see Tom Brady play live today too. Ends of the spectrum. We're both pumped for the game today. It's gonna be super exciting.
I thought he was just throwing shade against Tom Brady. We're gonna get to see that today, I hope.
He's like, "Oh, that's good." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's really good."
That reminds me, one time my aunt flew from Cleveland to Atlanta to visit us, Joey. And I'm like, she comes in, she goes, "The most embarrassing thing happened to me on the airplane." She's like, "This really nice gentleman sat next to me. And I started talking to him, and I asked him, 'Why are you coming to Atlanta?' He's like, 'Oh, for work.' Mentioned work, and over and over. And she's like, later in the conversation, I asked, 'So do you work in construction?' And he goes, I'm a pitcher for the Cleveland Indians." And she's from Cleveland. He had something in Cleveland, so he wasn't able to take the trip with the team, had to fly later, flew coach on a Delta flight to Atlanta, and she had no idea.
That's funny.
I wish she had remembered the name, but I can't remember that. Tommy says, "Joey, did you see the Brady late update? Not playing, illness."
Are y'all messing with me?
I think Tommy's messing with you.
Tommy.
I have not seen that. He's just trying to pull one over on you.
Yeah. So he doesn't have the Raiders to root for anymore this year, so he's going to come at me. That's fine.
Rude.
I know. That was rude. That was a little shade, wasn't it?
There's other players on this Buccaneers team that we've had some questions about already.
Yeah.
Maybe you can provide some light. Rashad White has been a question we've had around players like Alexander Madison, Cam Akers, that range. How are you feeling about Rashad White on this Buccaneers team?
I would start him after all the names you listed there. Listen, 3 weeks ago I was on the show and I said I thought Rashad White, you're starting to see some movement in this offense, that there might be a shift towards Rashad White over Leonard Fournette. But listen, I've not been too confident the last few weeks in what I've seen from him. I'm still happy to roll him out there, maybe flex play at best.
Yeah, I think he's startable, especially with the buys that we have going on this week, but not a player that you're trying to force into your lineup.
No.
I just searched Tom Brady to make sure that they were messing with us, and I think they are.
That's fine.
I think they're entirely messing with us, Joey.
Listen, I've not been to a Bucks game since the Bucks and Seahawks played on Sunday Night Football. It was the night that the Rays went to the World Series, that they won the ALCS. And it was weird because the entire stadium, because the Bucks were winning pretty handedly, around the ninth inning, shifted to the concourse. The stands were almost empty. Shifted to the concourse to watch the Rays go to the World Series for the first time. So
Nice.
That's a weird memory I have. That was the last time I was at a Bucks game. And that was probably maybe 10 years ago. So
Wow.
That's wild. Do you want to help us answer these questions? You got to get back to.
Yeah, I got time. I can answer some questions.
Let's hit a couple questions with Joey before we let him go over here. Joey, we had a question come in from Super Squash. Wanted to know David Montgomery or Cordero Patterson this week. Cordero Patterson active for the first time since he was placed on IR. Are you rolling out Monty or Patterson?
So everybody knows my little mantra by now. If somebody's coming back on their first game from an injury, I never like to start him if I have a good option. And for me, David Montgomery is a good enough option to start him over Patterson.
I'm with Joey.
Dale, what about
David
you?
David Montgomery over Cordero Patterson. It's just too risky.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Now, Nick Flynn had a question regarding a player that you've hyped up a bit this week, Joey, with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen out. All the attention's on Josh Palmer. But Nick Flynn wants to know, I need to pick 2 of these players, Curtis Samuel, Darnell Mooney, and DeAndre Carter. Which 2 of those 3 would you be starting this week?
So one more time, Mooney, Carter, and who?
And Curtis Samuel, though it looks like I'm getting news that DeAndre Carter is actually out this week.
I thought I saw that on the car ride over. So this answer is really simple for me. Don't start DeAndre Carter.
Yeah, DeAndre Carter out. That one gets a lot easier whenever we find that out.
Did we get real quick? Did we get Lazard news?
He's active.
He is active. Okay.
Lazard and Watson are active, but he's still a game time decision.
Yeah.
This is the best for fantasy, right? Whenever they keep them active, but let you know that they're still deciding right before the game. At least with Darren Waller, we got a little bit more clarity.
Yeah.
Tim wants to know. He says, "I'm starting Fields." What'd you say? Well, DeAndre Carter's out.
Pick 2. It's pick 2.
Yeah, pick 2. So DeAndre Carter's out. So it's the other 2 guys. Tim said, "I'm starting Fields, Aaron Jones, Jacobs, Diggs, T. Higgins, and Gerald Everett. Pretty solid starting lineup right there."
Yeah.
He wants to know Olave or Kenneth Walker in the flex. Joe, would you be rolling out Chris Olave or Kenneth Walker?
I'm going to roll out Kenneth Walker, just based on matchup. But boy, you've got 2 good options. Who is he one more time with the starting lineup? I might try to weasel Olave in here.
It is Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, and then Gerald Everett at tight end.
There's no way I can get Olave in this lineup. Wow. Congratulations on your win this week.
Jill, do you agree? Are you throwing Kenneth Walker in the flex?
Yeah, it's Kenneth Walker for me as well.
We had a question in here from Cash's stylist. I hope
Cash?
you're giving Cash a nice cut. No, it's not Cash. It's Cash's stylist.
Yeah,
you're right. We do.
But they're
make the
happy to
mistake
be
every
his
time.
stylist, so that's nice.
Every time we make that mistake and that joke.
So they've got Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey on bye this week.
Okay.
Which running backs would you start? Cordero Patterson, Brian Robinson, and Kenyon Drake are the options. They need to start 2 of them. Joey, which 2 of those 3 would you be throwing in?
Listen, with Gus Edwards possibly being out this week, I don't really mind Kenyon Drake as a play. I don't necessarily like the matchup, but he's going to get the workload if he's not there because I don't think Justice Hill is going to get much. So Kenyon Drake's going to be a start for me. And who are the other names? One more time.
The other names were Brian Robinson and Cordero Patterson.
I'd go Brian Robinson. Even though Gibson's been getting a lot more work, I would still rather play him over Patterson probably at this point. That's close, though.
Are you following your rule still? Is Brian Robinson a good enough play that you're not starting Cordero Patterson his first week back from injury?
Yeah. No, I am. I would start Cordero Patterson.
Okay. That's tough for me. I don't necessarily even disagree with JL. That might be where the line is for me. Usually I've got this screen on the other side here, and I can look right at it. But I'm doing pretty good without it. So
yeah, not bad, not bad.
You're pretty high. Joey, now what about this one?
Okay.
Darren Waller banged up. Mako had Darren Waller as a starting tight end, not playing this week, officially inactive. They want to know, do I pick up his backup, Foster Moreau, or do I pick up Isaiah Likely on the Ravens to play on Monday night?
I have gotten this exact question at least a dozen times, which is weird because I usually get like 4 or 5 questions, but this one like a dozen times. I'm actually playing Likely. I like him no matter Andrews starts or not. What we saw to him last week was really exciting, even though Andrews went out a little early. But you can't deny how good Likely's been lately. And Foster Moreau, I believe our friend Andrew Cooper, that's usually on the morning shows, but he's somewhere off in Europe having fun with his wife. I don't know what his problem is. Actually brought up that the best game that Foster Moreau had in support where Waller was out was only 76 receiving yards. And correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that was Andrew Cooper's stat. It was 76 or 74 yards. Listen, I want to roll with Likely. I love the talent, and I don't think JL is going to really disagree with me too much on that.
Also, I want to correct something that we said earlier. It looks like DeAndre Carter is active for this week. He is not inactive. That was a report that we saw that ended up not being true. So DeAndre Carter is active. Does that change your answer to that question, Joey?
So it was Carter, Samuel, and there was one more name.
Darnell Mooney.
Still Samuel Mooney for me.
I'm going to play Mooney. That matchup for them this week could be another week of a Justin Fields coming out party because, man, Justin Fields has looked great the last few weeks. And then I'll still go with Curtis Samuel.
I'm with you. It doesn't change my answer either, but I do think DeAndre Carter is a startable wide receiver this week. What are your expectations for Carter? Like wide receiver 3 range?
Yeah, wide receiver 3 flex. Maybe look at like 5 receptions, 50 yards, and you get lucky if he gets a touchdown.
Absolutely. Crossing your fingers, hoping for that touchdown. Joey, thank you so much for helping us answer these questions so far this morning. Enjoy the Bucks game, my
Will
man.
do. Yeah, I'm excited. So
And I'm so sorry about the Tom Brady news again.
I know it's just terrible. Brady's not going to be playing today. So
You're gonna people who just coming in are gonna be like,
dude,
what? I
the
need to go
lobby
change
is
my
ready.
mind.
They've got the pitchforks ready to come at me now. Oh my gosh! But look, I got the creamsicle. I'm rocking the creamsicle Bucks.
Nice.
So,
Tom Brady is playing today.
Yeah.
Don't take that as truth.
Guys, love you guys. I'll see you this week.
Bye bye.
Joey.
I'll see you
Go
tonight. I'll
Bucks.
call into the show tonight.
Okay.
Perfect.
We'll see you
I
later,
can't stay.
Joey. I just kicked him off mid-sentence on accident. That's okay.
He kind of deserved it.
He'll forgive me. JL, we had some more questions in here. One
Mr.
coming in
Chambers.
from our friend JM. JM said Deion Jackson or James Conner in a PPR league. So James Conner expected to play this week after being injured. Are you starting Deion Jackson, who's starting in place of Jonathan Taylor, and with an absence of Nyheim Hines being traded to the Bills? Are you starting James Conner his first week back in what's expected to be a high-scoring game?
I am not. I'm going to start Deion Jackson over James Conner. I'm okay if you do want to start James Conner. It's close enough that I'm willing to take that shot. The matchup is positive for him. I agree with Simon. I think this is going to be a pass-heavy game, and so I don't think James Conner is going to be a major factor in it, and I don't think they're going to rush him into it. So Deion Jackson, really the only guy there in New England. Really tough matchup. I'm almost talking myself out of Deion Jackson, but I'm still going to go Deion Jackson.
Yeah, the longer you went, the more I
was like slowly shifting.
Yeah, like, sometimes it happens. You start running through it and you're like, it's this player. And then by the end of your explanation, you're like, actually,
wait a
no,
minute.
It's not. No, it's not. No, but here it's still going to be Deion Jackson for me. He's the only show in town. With how well Eno Benjamin's been playing in place of James Conner, I imagine this is no longer just James Conner's backfield. I think it's going to be a split, and especially coming back his first week back from injury, I'm not trying to force him in any lineups. You've got a great option instead of that player. Grim fan wanted to know DK Metcalf or Terry McLaurin. Before we answer this, I just want to say, like, it has been so nice to see DK Metcalf showing up for fantasy this year, right? Like, I think people counted him out with Russell Wilson gone, with his disappointment last year, despite him scoring 12 touchdowns. But DK Metcalf or McLaurin, which one are you starting, JL?
Ooh, between those two, I think I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with DK Metcalf. It is pretty close. DK Metcalf going against Arizona, Terry McLaurin going against Minnesota. Honestly, I think you can flip a coin for these guys. I want to start both of them if I can, but I'll go DK Metcalf.
I'll go DK Metcalf as well, JL. Also, our friend Ill Will Boy 252 coming in with the super chat with a question for us. Ill Will, thank you so much, my friend. He wants to know full PPR start, who at flex, Olave or Deion Jackson? So Chris Olave or Deion Jackson? That's a hot question right there. JL, which one are you throwing in your lineup?
This one is an easy Olave for me. It's an easy Olave for me, and here's why. Deion Jackson going against New England, it is a tough matchup. I just brought it up about 2 questions ago. New England has been very good against the run. They are letting up the second least amount of fantasy points to the running back position. Olave, it's him and then who? Right? Like, who is behind Olave that's going to be commanding targets here? I think he is the star. Raheem Shaheed could get some targets. He is not going to get out targeted. Wait, that doesn't make sense. He's not going to get more targets than Chris Olave. There we go. This is a not the best matchup against Baltimore, but not the worst matchup against Baltimore. So I'll go Olave.
I'm going to go Olave as well. In this one. And JL, you hit that perfectly. Deion Jackson's a good start, but especially in a full PPR league, like this is a full PPR. You want Chris Olave. Dude has top 12 wide receiver upside this week in that game against the Ravens. Though it is, like you mentioned, not the easiest matchup, but maybe not the worst matchup for opposing wide receivers as well. Mako wanted to know, JL, is it worth picking up Deshaun Jackson for this week? So Matt came in a little bit earlier saying he was throwing some money on Deshaun Jackson, anytime touchdown scorer. Do you think Deshaun Jackson is worth a pickup?
No, I don't think so. I think there are much better options out there. Not saying that it won't happen, that he won't go off and get a touchdown. Can't predict the future, but looking at the entire picture here, I don't see Deshaun Jackson being a major factor in this game.
No, me neither. It just doesn't feel like something that's going to happen. Could he have a long touchdown? Yeah, that's what Jackson does, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what he does.
But I think it's far more likely that he just doesn't. That goes, Devin Duvernay gets the long touchdown. Devin Duvernay's more involved. I'm avoiding him if at all possible. Lewis wanted to know, should I start Lazard over Juju and Pittman? So Lazard, game time decision, JL. You starting him over Juju or Pittman?
No, I can't. It just feels like whenever we get these game time decisions, especially with wide receivers, most of the time it turns out poorly. It's just too much risk. And when the risk is that high, when you have two other decent options, I'd rather just go Juju and Pittman.
How about a decision I had to face this week, JL? Alan Lazard or Curtis Samuel, full PPR. It's a little bit further down than those guys.
A little bit further down than those
They
guys.
both start at 1. They're both 1 p.m. Eastern games. Makes me nervous waiting. So like I have Curtis Samuel in my lineup right now, just in case, this show ends right as games start. If I don't have time to move him over and Lazard's not playing, Curtis Samuel is good enough in my mind. But would you be risking it? Would you throw Lazard in there?
I wouldn't. I don't think they're going to need to against this Detroit team. I don't think they're going to need to factor Lazard in here a ton. I think they'll be able to get the job done with Dobbs and the other wide receiver options there on that team. I would just go for the safer option here, Simon, with Curtis Samuel. I think their upside is somewhat similar.
Yeah, I think I'm going to roll with Curtis Samuel, but the Lazard decisions are some of my toughest ones this week. So I empathize with you, Lewis, trying to decide between Lazard, Juju, and Pittman. We're getting a report coming in, JL. Jay Glazer reporting that OBJ will be cleared by the end of the week and could sign quickly. And that's paired with another report that we saw that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are potentially going after Odell Beckham Jr. Is that not the most Jerry Jones, like, that just checks out, right? Like Jerry Jones sees a big flashy name, free agent wide receiver. Let's go get him. Let's sign OBJ. I don't care if it fits. I don't care if it's our need. I want Odell Beckham Jr. on our team. Would you be shocked to see him sign with the Cowboys?
Not at all. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Would you have interest?
There's a report earlier in the week that he was going to sign with who's the team? Oh, I can't remember. Blanking now. But that he was maybe tied to a team already, or talking with a team.
Oh, that's a great. Let me know if you remember.
Yeah, this is super informative without the name of the team.
Everyone listening, the latest update is OBJ talking to some team that he could potentially sign with.
Oh man!
But the Dallas Cowboys did show that they really wanted him. Joe, Carlos is God had a question for us. Well, you should have the answer to this already. Want to know, should I start TJ Hawkinson or Gerald Everett this week? So TJ Hawkinson on his new team or Gerald Everett with the top receiving options out there in LA. Who are you rolling with?
Go with Gerald Everett. No Mike Williams, no Keenan Allen going against Atlanta. Solid matchup. It's Gerald Everett.
I'm with you. Eric wants to know, in PPR, would you flex Lockett, Duvernay, Khalil Herbert, or James Conner? Eric coming in with a fire question. So a lot of guys in the same tier. Are you going Lockett, JL?
Yep. Lock it there in the flex.
Not tempted by Khalil Herbert against this Dolphins team?
No, David Montgomery's playing.
Yeah, it's going to be Tyler Lockett for me as well. Dude's been a stud so far this season. Yet again, it seems like year after year, Tyler Lockett's a value in drafts, right? Yeah. This year was no different. He was counted out because of no Russell Wilson, and Tyler Lockett just doing Tyler Lockett things.
Oh, Gino comes in.
Oh, Gino. Joe, we got another Lazard question. Lots of Lazard questions. And for those of you who may have missed it, Lazard is active this week. He's officially active, but he's still a game time decision. That game starts in a little over 30 minutes, so we're keeping our eyes and ears peeled, but you may have to make some tough decisions leading up to this one. Jill, this one, Martin wants to know, Michael Carter. Would you be throwing Michael Carter into your lineup in the absence of James Robinson, Breece Hall out, but going against the Buffalo Bills? Or are you throwing out Lazard against the Detroit Lions, but he's a game time decision?
Oh man, that one sucks. I think in that situation, I might, you know what? I'm still going to go with Carter. And just hope that he has one of those break off runs, gets you enough points to be relevant this week. He's the only guy there. He's getting enough opportunity. He just hasn't really done much with it. That Jets offensive line is not fantastic. And the Bills defensive line is very good. And so that's really going to limit Michael Carter's upside this week. But so is Alan Lazard's injury. I'd rather just have Carter.
Yeah, I think I roll Carter out there. What if Lazard doesn't play? Like, you got to make that decision. What if Lazard plays super limited snaps, right? Like, he's the wide receiver
snaps and
one.
then he's done. What if he pulls a Mark Andrews from last week?
He 100% could. I get nervous whenever players are game time decisions, even if they end up playing. So you've got Michael Carter. Go ahead and throw him in. Yeah. Guys, a reminder that today's show is sponsored by our friends over at Jock Market. Download the Jock Market app now using promo code BETTER and play along today, buying and selling shares of athletes in real time with other users. Dale, we had another question come in here right now. Another super chat hit over here. I want to make sure we are hitting on. Thank you so much, Melvin. Really appreciate you. He wants to know DJ Moore or Chris Godwin this week? JL, are you throwing in DJ Moore or Chris Godwin?
I'm gonna go. This is very close for me. I'm gonna go Chris Godwin against the LA Rams this week. DJ Moore has been playing fantastic. PJ Walker filling in for Baker Mayfield. They look like they have a good connection, but they're playing Cincinnati this week, which is going to be a little tougher of a matchup. I'd go Chris Godwin here.
Give me DJ Moore. I like the Peach to Deach connection. I'm a little bit nervous about this Bucks Rams game just being a low scoring snooze fest. Yeah. Where they're running the ball. I'll roll DJ Moore out there. I think this has the potential to be a fun game if they're still riding that ding dong, the witch is dead, Matt rules off our team high that they've been riding the past couple weeks. DJ Moore for me. Melvin had a second part to this question though, JL. Tom Brady or Trevor Lawrence this week?
Ooh,
that's some spice, Melvin. Tom Brady going to get up against the Los Angeles Rams. Trevor Lawrence, like we mentioned earlier, playing the Las Vegas Raiders. The best matchup for quarterbacks in the NFL.
Sir.
And not close.
Yeah, these guys are pretty close in my weekly rankings. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence here. That matchup really is a tiebreaker for me. Tom Brady has just looked deflated, pun intended. I'm going to go Trevor.
I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence as well. It doesn't feel good benching Tom Brady for Trevor Lawrence, but I know he's
good.
You know what? It does feel good. It does feel good as a Clemson fan to say that. But I'm taking my bias out of here. I've been telling people to bench Trevor Lawrence the past couple weeks, but this is a bounce back week going against this Raiders defense.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tommy, but your defense is the perfect place
it was the Bills. That's who it was. Thank you, Jordan. Jordan came in the chat and said OBJ Packers Bills. JL. It was the Bills is the one I was thinking of.
Of course he wants to be on the Bills. That's just OBJ spreading rumors about himself to try to make it happen.
Maybe.
Right? Like which team do you want to play for? I don't know. Bills. The best one in the league.
Like the greatest one.
The greatest team in the NFL. That's what I want to do. He's just going to swap. He's just going to swap to the best team in the league year after year and keep collecting Super Bowl rings. Exactly. Play half a season for the best team and then just call it a day. We had another question come in here, JL. Also, I saw Martin in here saying ESPN reports Lazard is active. That is true. Lazard is active, but he's still a game time decision. So they didn't make him inactive. They're still determining whether or not he's going to play. So you need to watch that. Active doesn't mean that they're going to see a full workload. Jacob wanted to know DeAndre Swift or DeAndre Carter, JL. So DeAndre Carter is playing. DeAndre Swift expected to play as well. Are you rolling DeAndre Swift out there even though he's banged up?
Yep. No, it's not time to get cute with it. Let's just go with DeAndre Swift. He's the better running back, and he's playing this week. So it's.
What about the battle between these Colts wide receivers, JL? Michael Pittman, obviously the one, but we had a question deciding between the two secondary receivers there, Alec Pierce and Paris Campbell. Which one of Alec Pierce and Paris Campbell would you be plugging into your lineup this week if you had to start one?
I have to start one of them. I'm going to plug in Alec Pierce. They're going against New England. It's hard to know where Bill Belichick is going to throw his focus this week. So honestly, they're close enough. You can go with whichever one you like more. I think Alec Pierce is going to be a bigger factor into this offense this week.
It's Alec Pierce for me as well, but hopefully you can avoid starting either one. But I know it's crazy bye weeks, but it is a tough matchup, Eric, for both of these receivers. Also, Melvin coming in here with the thank you. Appreciate you, my friend Melvin. Thank you so much. And guys,
Melvin, great questions.
If we helped you out and you're enjoying what we're doing over here, make sure to head on over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. Hit that subscribe button. We've got all sorts of fantasy advice, and we play a lot of fantasy-based games over there as well. If you enjoy some of that, make sure you subscribe to our channel at Front Yard Fantasy. Yeah, JL's really good at the trivia part, right, JL?
I suck. I'm poo-poo at the trivia, but I'm good at the fun times.
Have you watched any of the Celebrity Jeopardy tournament that's on Hulu now, JL?
No, I haven't.
If you need a Jeopardy confidence boost, like if you watch
Celebrity Jeopardy,
if you watch normal Jeopardy and you only get one or two right throughout the whole thing and it's really hurting your feelings, throw on Celebrity Jeopardy because they take those questions down about 14 notches, not just one. And it feels good to sit there and get mad when you miss one instead of celebrating when you get one right. Like it's a different experience watching Celebrity Jeopardy.
That's awesome. I just check that out.
They got some good names on there this year. They got Simu Liu is on there. Andy Richter is on there.
I like Andy Richter.
Right? I like Andy Richter too. And dude's a trivia hoss. Like he is killing it.
Trivia hoss.
A chance against him over there. We had some more questions come in here though, JL. Martin wanted to know Fields or Lawrence this week. So Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. That's an interesting one. Are you rolling Trevor Lawrence? You
I did. I'm gonna I'm going to go Justin Fields in this one, though. I think Justin Fields going against Miami is going to be a higher scoring game, which is different than what Vegas believes. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game, and Justin Fields has the rushing floor, which you really want to see in a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence rushes as well, but not nearly as much as Justin Fields right now. So I'll go with Fields this week.
Man, the matchup's so good. The matchup's so good for Trevor Lawrence, but I'm going Justin Fields as well. That floor, that safety of the rushing upside is there for Justin Fields. Dude's rushed for 60 yards in like 4 of his last 5 games. It seems pretty safe that he hits that number again today against Detroit. And then that's a touchdown. That's a full touchdown if he rushes for 60 yards. Just add it on score for free. Yuck No had a question for us, JL. Romeo Doubs, Kenyon Drake, Antonio Gibson, bench 1. So one of those players has to hit the bench. Romeo Doubs, Kenyon Drake, Antonio Gibson. Who's hitting your bench?
Oh, man. Dobbs is no. Kenyon Drake's going to hit my bench. Oh, God, that sucks. I want to bench Dobbs, but the matchup's solid for him against Detroit, and Lazard being injured. I know. Yeah, I'll bench Kenyon Drake.
Over Antonio Gibson? You want Antonio Gibson in your lineup over Kenyon Drake?
Yeah, I do.
I think I'm benching Gibson. I think I'm starting Kenyon Drake and Romeo Doubs in this one and throwing Gibson on the bench. But it's super close. Those are some good options you got there this week. Yuck no. Truly Epic want to know another bench 1 question. Deonta Foreman, Joshua Palmer, Deion Jackson, or Chris Godwin. So with Deonta Foreman, we didn't hit this earlier. Chuba Hubbard is out again this week. So it should be Deonta Foreman's backfield fully. And he was a monster last week whenever he had the backfield to himself. Then the other players, Joshua Palmer with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, both out. Dude shows up when those players aren't playing. Deion Jackson, Jonathan Taylor out. Nyheim Hines traded. Zach Moss not active. So now this dude's launched into the starting role. And then Chris Godwin is Chris Godwin. He's a top 12 wide receiver most of the time when he plays. Which of these guys are you benching, JL? This is a tough one.
Just benching one?
Just benching one.
I will bench Deion Jackson going against New England.
For me, it's between Deion Jackson and Chris Godwin, and I think it's going to be Deion Jackson. It's the matchup that's the tiebreaker. Not that it's a great matchup for Chris Godwin either, but truly epic. That is team, and it is from the waiver. What a waiver wire success story.
I know, right? Deion Jackson, Deonta Foreman, Joshua Palmer. You're clearly winning the waiver wire game.
This is evidence you do not win your league at the draft. The waiver wire is where it's at because Truly Epic has a star-studded lineup for.
I'm going to be like, I'm 0-8.
I have all these players because I consistently have the number 1 waiver priority week in, week out.
Yeah.
Epic has another question for us, JL. Isaiah Likely, TJ Hawkinson, or Tyler Conklin? Where are you rolling?
I'm going to go Isaiah Likely.
I'm nervous. I said Hawkinson over him earlier. I'm going to stick with that. The question is about Conklin, but I don't think I can throw Conklin in there ahead of those guys. I'm going to start TJ Hawkinson going up against Washington. Hope they plan on getting him involved. Getting him involved a little bit. Swavey in here, JL, with a waiver wire tragedy. Said I passed on ETN on the waiver wire weeks ago because I didn't want to drop AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon. That's fair,
totally
but
fair. I probably wouldn't have done that either.
In retrospect, you look back at it, and that one hurts, right? Now you have AJ Dillon, who's been severely underperforming, and Travis Etienne, who's a week in, week out RB1. And Martin said, I dropped Etienne right before he blew up. No!
Martin, no!
Martin, if you would have been here listening to JL, Jay would have told you to hold on to him endlessly.
I would have been telling you. Just wait.
Tommy wants to know who is your wide receiver hog of the week? Who is going to go off? And I've mentioned mine a couple times, Dale, and I'm going to put it back out there. I want to inspire confidence in Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk this week. Christian Kirk has been disappointing. Christian Kirk is my wide receiver hog. I think he could finish as a top 12 guy in this beautiful matchup for him against the Las Vegas Raiders. And if the Raiders offense can get going a little bit, this isn't too tough of a matchup, maybe this turns into a really gross bottom of the league shootout between the Jaguars and the Raiders. And Christian Kirk has himself a game. Do you have a hog, JL, that you're expecting to blow up this week?
Yeah, I'll throw DeAndre Hopkins in this mix here. DeAndre Hopkins going against Seattle. I think he's going to be a total hog this week.
Absolute hog. Sometimes you got to instill confidence in those top guys, right?
Had to.
DeAndre Hopkins can be a hog. Truly Epic in here wanted to know, combining 2 questions, JL, we've had Fields versus Lawrence. We've had Lawrence versus Brady. But what about Fields versus Brady? Which quarterback would you be throwing in? Justin Fields really overperforming over the last 5 weeks compared to expectations. Tom Brady laying big old stinky poop eggs on the field. Which one would you be plugging in your
Stinky
lineup?
poop eggs. I'll go Justin Fields. I'll go Justin Fields over Tom Brady.
As will I. For all the reasons stated previously, he's got the rushing upside and he's been playing well. And this Bears offense is starting to get moving. Andy has a question for us, JL. Cordero Patterson, DeAndre Swift, Juju Smith-Schuster, or Josh Palmer?
Swift.
Which one would you be plugging in? Just one. You're playing Swift over
Yep.
all these guys?
Over all those guys.
You don't care about the injury?
Nope.
You're not tempted to start a Joshua Palmer with – hey, geez, you don't have to yell at me today. I think I'm going Joshua Palmer. I think this is where I'll go Joshua Palmer. I like that matchup for him. And with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen both out, should be heavy feasting for Palmer in this game against Atlanta. And it's expected to be relatively high scoring, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Relatively high scoring. I'll start Joshua Palmer. Man, but it does not feel good having Swift on the bench. Diego wants to know Tyler Higbee or Isaiah Likely. Lots of Isaiah Likely questions this week. For those of you who have not heard, Mark Andrews is doubtful for the Monday night game against the Ravens. So if he is your starting tight end, you need to make arrangements now. JL, would you be rolling with the rookie Isaiah Likely or with Mr. Higbee?
Give me Isaiah Likely.
Man, how high do you have Isaiah Likely this week? Like, what are your expectations for him?
I think he'll be a top 7 tight end for sure.
Top 7?
Yeah.
I'm still going to roll out with Tyler Higbee. It's a tough matchup, and we don't have certainty around Andrews, right?
Right.
Ooh,
but he's most likely going to be out. Like we're pretty sure Andrews is going to be out. This isn't a Lazard like will he play, will he not play type of situation.
Yeah, we have a question here. Jayon came in and said, in a half PPR league, I'm currently starting Cordero Patterson and Kamara. For my flex, do I play Swift, Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, or Christian Kirk, or Romeo Dobbs? So first of all, before we get any deeper, you have the options. I'm taking CPAT out of that lineup. I am not starting Cordero Patterson back week 1, and I'm throwing Jamal Williams in there as my next running back up. So I would have your starting running backs as Jamal Williams and Alvin Kamara. You've got the options. You don't need to start Cordero Patterson week 1 back in this offense. You agree with that, JL?
I agree with that.
Now, what would you be doing at your flex? So the options for flex after that are DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Christian Kirk, and Romeo Dobbs. Who are you throwing in there?
I think I'm going to go Christian Kirk. Out of these options here, I'm okay if you want to do DeAndre Swift as well. If you want to do like a Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift type play, I think that would be solid. Their matchup is pop. And both these guys have been major.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. It's Christian Kirk for me. I just said he was my hog of the week. Absolute hog. And with Romeo Dobbs, listen to this, JL. So my girlfriend's league that I've told you about with the crazy scoring, all sorts of stuff. There's also scoring in there for punt return yards. That is absurd. It's half a point for every punt return yard and kickoff return as well. So these players are eating. My girlfriend had Romeo Dobbs
punt return yard
each yard. Absurd, right? This league gets worse and worse every time I look at the settings. It's just insane. But with that being said, my girlfriend's coworker convinced her that she should drop Romeo Dobbs this week to pick up Ray McLeod and play him because his past 3 weeks, he's had over 50 points in that league because of his returnage yardage. So we made the move. Ray McLeod's on bye. He just fleeced her, just tricked her into dropping Romeo Dobbs onto the waiver wire to pick up Ray McLeod. He's on bye.
That's ridiculous.
Just come on. She is first place in that league, so maybe they're just trying to get whatever advantage they can. But man, guys, don't trick your league mates. Be friends with that. We have some more questions coming in here, JL. Man, lots of fire questions in here today. Bench 1, Romeo Dobbs, Antonio Gibson, or Kenyon Drake. Who are you throwing on your bench?
Ooh, this one is tough. The choice for me comes down to Kenyon Drake or Romeo Dobbs. And I'm going to go with, oh my goodness. I'm going to go with Kenyon Drake. I'd bench Kenyon Drake out of those two.
And I'm benching Gibson. I think we had a very similar question to this one earlier. I'm still benching Gibson here. Morden here wanted to know PPR, Josh Palmer, Myers, and Patterson. One of them has to be benched, half PPR. So Josh Palmer, Jacoby Myers, and Cordero Patterson. I'm with you. It's
bench Patterson. Wait till we see what he does this week. If he comes out of the gate firing, start him next week.
Nomadic with another likely question. They have Mark Andrews on their team, so they're making other plans. Would you start Robert Tonyan, Hayden Hurst, or Isaiah Likely, JL?
Isaiah Likely.
Isaiah Likely, and I'm going to go with Big Buns Tunyon. Big Buns Tunyon is the guy that I'm going with. It was between him and Hurst for me, but I'm going to roll out Big Buns Tunyon in this positive matchup against the Detroit Lions with Alan Lazard banged up a little bit as well. Seeing lots of Likelies in the chat as well. People are liking Likely. They're agreeing with you, JL.
Yeah, let's go. Likely gang. What up?
I hope he kills it. I hope he absolutely
so
kills
good last year, Simon, or last week, Simon. Go watch his game. I know you don't have time before the games start, but go watch his game.
I've got time before the Ravens game to go start,
That's
but not
true.
before I'm making some of these starts.
Tomorrow, go watch Isaiah Likely. Looks so good.
Tomorrow, I'll go watch Isaiah Likely. Harrison Houseman in here wants to know Kirk Cousins or Tua Tagovailoa this week. This is an easy Tua Tagovailoa against the Chicago Bears for me. What about you, JL?
Yeah, sit old Greek yogurt, Kirk Cousins.
Greek yogurt. He's not even vanilla Greek yogurt. He's just like the plain Greek yogurt.
Yeah, plain Greek yogurt.
Kirk Cousins goes to Menchie's or TCBY or any of these froyo places, and he's the one who gets the plain. Like there's all the flavors. It's tucked between honeydew and strawberry cheesecake. There's one that just says plain.
Plain, and then he just gets granola, no candy or anything.
Just granola on top, and maybe if he's feeling really feisty, some graham cracker crumbs.
Yeah.
If he wants it to get a little bit, that's a little bit too sweet for Kirk Cousins.
Treat yourself Tuesday.
234 in here said Weird Al Yankovic. Who should I start? Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson, or Nyheim Hines? Half PPR. I assume you're referring to me with my gross mustache and long hair, but I'm going to take it as a compliment, 234, because Weird Al is a national treasure and a very handsome man. If I was lumped in with Weird Al and Greg Dulcich, my life would be complete. Jail of Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson, and Nyheim Hines. Who are you starting? Nyheim Hines on his new team. Brian Robinson been losing work to Gibson recently, and Tyler Algier has CPAT coming back, though we haven't been too optimistic about CPAT's workload.
Yeah, I'll probably go Algier here and hope that they don't just give everything right back to Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, I'm with you, JL. Tommy in here saying Tua gonna slinga.
Tua gonna sling. Tua gonna slinga, bruh.
Tua gonna slinga. If you say, man, JL, I'm glad we don't have like a large European audience. Just like one guy from Denmark who comes in and watches us. Occasionally, my grandparents. Yeah, Thomas. Because we would probably just be pissing a lot.
Offend all the Europeans
with our accents.
Thomas and Avenya.
Tua gonna slinga. Absolutely, Tua's gonna slinga this week. Cassius Stylus wanted to know Gabe Davis or Pittman, JL. So Gabriel Davis or Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman hasn't been great for him with the rookie quarterback starting. Who are you plugging in this week?
I'm gonna go. It's the Jets. Pittman. I'm worried. I think New England will be able to shut Pittman down. I think they're going to shut Sam Ehlinger down. I'd rather have Gabe Davis.
If Sam Ehlinger is one of the last quarterbacks.
Is it Ehlinger or Ehlinger?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. 100%. It's whichever one you're feeling in your heart at the time, Jo. I don't think he's important enough to make sure we figure it out.
I'll look that up later.
I won't. We had another question in here. A question coming in wanted to know, would you be confident in starting Cousins, Mariota, Ehlinger, or Zach Wilson? Need to pick two of these guys. So Kirk Cousins, Marcus Mariota, Sam Ehlinger, or Zach Wilson. This one's easy for me. I am not starting Zach Wilson against the Bills if I can avoid it. And I'm not starting Sam Ehlinger, period. Like if this is a super flex league, I would plug in like down to like wide receiver 2, running back 2 in that spot over Sam Ehlinger. It's Mariota and Cousins for me.
Yeah, picking two. Oh yeah, if you're picking two out of those two, for sure.
Mariota and Cousins. Also, Harrison was adding some context that they have Justin Jefferson. Does that change your decision for Kirk Cousins or Tua Tagovailoa, JL?
No, and in season long, the stacking doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. Good news is you could have the higher scoring quarterback in Tua and still start Justin Jefferson. Jake Heats wants to know, start two, Amon-Ra, Olave, McLaurin. Start two of those players, JL. So you need to bench one between Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Olave, Harry McLaurin.
Lock in Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Are we agree on that, Simon?
Yeah, let's lock him in.
All right. He's definitely in your lineup. And then Terry McLaurin or Chris Olave. Chris Olave going against Baltimore. Terry McLaurin going against Minnesota. I'm going to go Olave here with no Michael Thomas. And and this game being Monday Night Football, I think this will be a really good game between New Orleans and Baltimore. Terry McLaurin, Scott Heineke, which is definitely positive for him. This is close enough that I'm not like hard on the Olave side, but I would lean Olave for sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, JL. We have this question come in here from Nug XS.
Nug
Squad.
Nugs.
That was the name of my minivan. You know that, the Golden Nug.
I did. I remember that had no brakes.
Well, just one time it had no brakes. That was terrifying. I was driving home, went to go slam on my brakes or just push them, and all of a sudden I heard crunch, and then my car did not stop. Just kept
It's amazing
on rolling.
you're still alive.
Hey, the minivan protected me. Believe in the Nug. Believe in the Golden Nug, JL. The Golden Nug is memorialized on my body forever in a
That's
tattoo.
true.
I've got the minivan on me. It's important. Okay, but Nug's question, instead of just wanting to hear about my minivan, was Alan Lazard, James Conner, Joshua Palmer, and Tyler Lockett start two. This one's pretty clear cut for me, JL. Lazard, there's still questions if he's going to play, and you've got good other options. So I'm going to go with Joshua Palmer and Tyler Lockett instead of the two players that are injured, James Conner and Alan Lazard.
Yeah, I'm with you, Simon.
Avoid the injuries whenever possible. Martin wanted to know, we were talking a little bit about OBJ earlier. Wants to know, should I pick up Odell Beckham Jr. With the reports that he's signing? He would have to drop Dulcich. He's got likely to and Njoku on IR. So would you drop Dulcich or likely to pick up OBJ?
What would be helpful in this question would be to know who your other wide receivers are as well. If you need wide receiver help, oh God, it doesn't feel good dropping Dulcich for someone who's not performing. If you really need a wide receiver, I'd be okay making that move. That's tough though.
I'll drop likely, unless you need to start him this week. If likely is your starter, then you can't. But if after this week, waivers run after this week, I will drop Isaiah Likely and pick up Odell Beckham Jr. because when Mark Andrews comes back, his value sinks. Not that he can't be involved, but you don't want to start the second tight end.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that actually makes a lot more sense what Simon said. Follow his advice.
Jail, Tommy and Jordan in the chat trying to conspire together to buy the Washington Commanders because there was a report coming out that the number could reach $7 billion with a timeline of March league meeting if all goes well. Tommy says he's only got $6 billion. You got an extra billion laying around that
I'm sure
we could
I
help buy
can
this
scrounge
team?
it up around here somewhere.
Dig in your couch cushions or something, or under your mattress?
Yeah, that's where I keep all my cash.
In the couch cushions or under the mattress?
It's the same thing.
Oh, it's one.
those two things are the same for me.
Joe's like, I'm in trouble. I sleep.
I
on the
live
couch.
on the couch. Yeah.
I have to live on the couch. And Jordan saying it's a birthday present for Matt Deutsch, better boss. Yeah, I think he'd be pretty thrilled if we could buy the Washington Commanders for him. Dale Swavey JP had another question for us. It's a 10-man PPR. He's 6-2. Should he trade Lamar, Etienne, and Tony? So Lamar Jackson, Travis Etienne, and Kadarius Toney for Josh Allen, Chris Olave, and Najee Harris. The running backs are Swift, Chubb, and Walker. Other wide receivers are Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, and T. Higgins. So Lamar Jackson, Travis Etienne, and Kadarius Toney for Josh Allen, Olave, and Najee. What are you doing here?
Lamar, Etienne, and Tony. So Lamar for Josh Allen, that's a wash. Najee for Etienne, give me Etienne. Or I'm sorry, yeah, Etienne for Najee, give me Etienne. And then Kadarius Toney for Chris Olave, I'd rather have Olave. My other running backs are Swift, Chubb, and Walker. So you don't need running back. Other wide receivers, Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown. Oh my God, you don't need wide receivers either. You don't need
wide receiver either.
This is, I would go, oh man. I think I would stay on your side. I think I would stay on your side and just keep Etienne.
Olave is a definite upgrade over Kadarius Toney.
But you don't need it.
You don't need it.
He's also going to be on your bench.
The gap between Etienne and Najee is much bigger for me the rest of the season. So I'm with you, JL. I'm rolling with that side. Fave Rocks had a question in here, and this is an interesting one, JL. I think we're going to be on the same side, but they want to know, do I start DeAndre Swift or Jamal Williams? Swift banged up. I'm rolling Jamal Williams out there. He's serviceable. They've got no problem feeding him when DeAndre Swift is banged up. Are you going Jamal as well, or is
I'm with you, Simon. It's Jamal Williams.
That's where the Swift love ends for JL. What about this one from Noah Smith? Wants to know Swift or Deion Jackson in PPR. So Deion Jackson or DeAndre Swift?
That's Swift for me. Yeah.
Man, that one's close. I'm a little bit nervous about Swift.
I'm a little bit nervous about Deion Jackson with
going up against the Patriots. But is Sam Ehlinger really going to are they going to try to let Sam Ehlinger beat the Patriots? Know what I mean? Or are they going to let Deion Jackson try to beat the Patriots?
I don't think they're going to have a choice.
They're going to have to chuck the ball around?
I think they're going to have to chuck the ball around. And even if they want this offense to run through Deion Jackson to beat the Patriots, it doesn't matter if they can't, if it doesn't work.
Also, Swavey in here said at this point we got to ask the bro in the Lamar jersey if he'd rather play Likely or Kelsey this week.
Kelsey, let's go.
Oh, Swavey, you got me with that one. Throwing the
Swavey.
shade. Oh, classic Swavey, isn't it?
We'll see.
Brim fan wants to know, what are your thoughts on Justin Jefferson's new glasses? Dale, have you seen his new shades?
I haven't, but I like them.
Yeah, whatever Justin Jefferson wears, I'm sure it's very cool, much cooler than everything I wear. We've got DJ Duvernay in the chat asking us some questions. Wants to know Deion Jackson or Deonta Foreman full PPR today.
Deonta Foreman, let's go. Chuba Hubbard is injured. Deonta Foreman has been fantastic. Go look what he did last week. If you're concerned about throwing Deonta Foreman in your lineup,
it's Deonta Foreman for me as well. The matchup makes it very difficult to start Deion Jackson if you have a solid matchup as well. Hubble wanted to know Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence. We hit on this one a little bit earlier, JL, and we both went Justin Fields in this one. But if you're watching this, full confidence throwing Justin Fields into your lineup as well. The Ron, welcome in, Ron. Says full PPR, need one flex. Robert Woods, Isaiah Pacheco, and Elijah Moore. Yeah, so Robert Woods, Isaiah Pacheco, Elijah Moore. Who are you throwing in? Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. Your options right here, but I get it. I've got some leagues where I had to start Robert Woods.
Who's the third one? You said Robert Woods, Elijah Moore, and
Isaiah Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco. That's right. Oh, okay. Out of these three, let's break this down here. Isaiah Pacheco going against Tennessee, Woods, Kansas City, obviously. Elijah Moore, Buffalo. I'm gonna sit Elijah Moore. I'll take him out of this equation. So then it's between Robert Woods and Isaiah Pacheco. Oof. I think I'm gonna go with Robert Woods against in Kansas City and PPR formats. I believe this question is PPR, right?
Yep.
Yeah, PPR, I'm going to go Robert Woods.
I'm going to go Robert Woods as well. And JL, you're right. You just can't start Elijah Moore right now. Like, he is unhappy on that team, and it doesn't look like he wants to be a participant with the Jets. I know Corey Davis is out, but I'm staying away from Elijah Moore. I'm staying away from Cam Akers. Like, these players that are expressed. Brandon Cooks, know what I mean? Like, stay away from all of these players that are unhappy with their situation, that want to be traded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a pick 2 question here. A bunch of running backs we've been talking about, but a new one added into the mix. Devin Singletary, Deonta Foreman, and Deion Jackson, pick 2. I think we're going to agree Deonta Foreman's got to be started, right?
Yeah.
Then is it Devin Singletary over Deion Jackson in that tough matchup for you, even with Nyheim Hines being added to the mix?
Let's see. Yeah, it's still Devin Singletary for me.
Devin Singletary.
They both have tough matchups. Deion Jackson's matchup. Devin Singletary, they have New York Jets. They've been mostly middle of the pack against running back.
Absolutely. Guys, a reminder, today's show is being sponsored by our friends over at Jock Market. You can download the Jock Market app now using promo code BETTER to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And your first market's going to be risk-free as well. So get in there, buy and sell shares of athletes in real time with other users, all for real money. And you got a guaranteed payout at the end of the night as well if you're not trading and selling during the games. We had another question come in here. Jacob wanted to know, Pat or Joe?
Pat or Joe?
Pat
Joe
or Joe?
Burrow,
Or Patrick Mahomes? I
Patrick
just like the way
Mahomes,
that
yes.
was asked. Pat or Joe?
Pat or Joe?
It's Pat. I'm throwing Pat in my lineups this week. It's a good matchup for him against the Tennessee Titans. Titans are decent against the run, terrible against wide receivers, and Patrick Mahomes should eat this week. What about you, Joe?
I'm with you, Simon. Everything you said.
Everything I said. Ditto for me. Gabe said Amon-Ra or Kenneth Walker for my flex. So this is a spicy
For
tomato.
the flex. Ooh, what a humble brag. I like it. Amon-Ra or Kenneth Walker. I'm going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown against Green Bay.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown as well in this one, especially if it's a PPR league. Throw Amon-Ra in there. See Grim fan coming in saying Akers is active, guys. Yes, he is active, but I'm still trying not to start him. He doesn't want to play on this team. I'm trying to avoid Cam Akers until I see him out on the field. I know it's not an injury situation, but I'm treating it similarly to I'm treating Cordell Patterson. If I don't have to put him in, I'm really trying not to. Do you agree, JL, or do you have more confidence in Cam Akers?
Fully agree with you, Simon. It's a wait and see situation.
Val's wants to know they have to start 2. Hayden Hurst, Isaiah Likely, and DeAndre Carter. JL, which of those 3 would you be benching? Hurst, Likely, or Carter?
I'm going to bench Carter out of the 3 of those the three of those guys. Carter is iffy. We don't know what his usage is going to be. There's a good opportunity, and we know he's active, but we gotta see what that is. And between Hurst and Likely, those two guys have much less risk.
Jill, I'm going to start DeAndre Carter and Hayden Hurst and bench Isaiah Likely. But what I'm expecting this week is Isaiah Likely is either going to score 0 points or be the number 1 tight end on the week. That way, one of us looks stupid.
Yeah.
Like one of us is going to look stupid after Monday night, either you or me. And I'm not feeling good about
or both of us.
It does not feel fun to be on the anti-Isaiah Likely side. You want to put together an Isaiah Likely bet?
Let's do Isaiah Likely bet for sure.
Let's set a line. You said you had him top 7. I'll give you a little bit more. You want to go top 10?
I'll take Isaiah Likely top 10.
Okay, and I'll take Isaiah Likely not top 10. What are we doing? An animal noise bet, an impression bet, a water bet?
Let's do animal noise.
Animal noise in an accent is what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Like a French. I almost said bulldog because that's the first
bulldog.
word.
Why do we both go to bulldog?
Because that's a real animal.
French bullfrog.
Cockatoo. French cockatoo is what we're gonna go with. So loser has to make the noise of a French cockatoo. Jail, start practicing your cockatoo noises.
Okay.
We're approaching the end here, but I want to make sure we hit some more of these questions. Schraggy just came in. What's up, Schraggy? Said Mecole Hardman, Rondale Moore, and Pittman. Pick 2. So one of these players needs to go on the bench, Jail. Mecole Hardman, Rondale Moore, and Michael Pittman. Who's hitting your bench?
Ooh, I'm gonna lock in Pittman. Pittman is in my lineup, and then I would go Rondale Moore in Seattle. So I'd be benching Hardman.
Man, it's a great matchup for the Kansas City wide receivers, but you just can't trust anyone outside of Juju Smith-Schuster, and trust is a strong word for Juju Smith-Schuster as well with all the receiving options they have there. I'm with you, Jalen. It has to be Hardman, but I do not think Hardman's a bad start this week if you're in a pinch. He's got a great matchup against the Tennessee Titans. Grimfan wants to know Kenneth Walker or Ramondre Stevenson. So Damian Harris was dealing with an illness this week. I don't know if we have an update on if Damian Harris is going to be playing, but it was looking unlikely. Oh, and he is inactive. So Damian Harris is officially inactive, Jail. So it's the Ramondre Stevenson show yet again. Are you on Kenneth Walker or the Rhino?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Ramondre Stevenson against
Ramondre
Indy.
Stevenson.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to roll Ramondre as well, but if you can find a way to fit both of those guys in your lineup, go ahead and do that. Guys, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. This was pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy. Games are kicking off ever so shortly, so we are going to get out of here. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your Monday, and we will see you guys next week. John Luke, any parting words before we head off for week 9?
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci, everyone. That'll do, pig. That'll do. We'll see you guys later. Enjoy your games.
Bye.